Hey, top of the morning, top of the evening, top of the night. We are live tonight with Gina Kidd. She will be answering some questions. We have Ms. Letha. We had some other people on earlier who stepped out before we started the live. Maybe they'll pop back up. Why don't you say hello, ladies?
Hey,
Hello, everybody.
everybody. Hope you're ready for Rosemont. Time to shut it down.
Keep your
Ain't no
feet
sleeping
propped
in
up and
Rosemont.
Ain't
ain't
no
no
sleeping in
sleeping in
Rosemont.
Rosemont.
I said, ain't no sleeping in Rosemont.
Ain't
Ain't
no
no
sleeping
sleeping in
in Rosemont.
Rosemont.
Fired up.
Fired up.
Hold up.
I said, are we fired up, ready to go?
We fired up and ready to go.
All right.
Always. Can't stop,
Um,
won't stop.
can't
No,
stop, won't stop till we get it.
it's a
Okay.
long.
Yeah.
It's been a long time coming.
Long time
Mhm.
coming.
Yes, and we people that have been, especially like me, feel like that just looking at the Facebook and videos and stuff that hadn't really did anything to be able to be present and to say no justice, no peace. That makes me feel really, really good.
Yes.
Okay,
It
let me
is
get
such an
this
amazing
disclaimer
feeling.
out the way, and then we're gonna let Gina, Kid, Miss Letha, and whoever pops back in have this tonight. Disclaimer on. All
All
right.
right.
In accordance to the Copyright Act of the United States of America, Sections 106, 106A, 107, and the others, fair use. We have a right to use the videos, pictures, materials, and the like, etc. for go back to this page. Criticism, comments, new reportings, teaching, scholarships, and research. This information is now a matter of public records in accordance to the United States of America Freedom of Information Act. Get that out of the way since we're using other people's material.
Mhm.
Okay, Gina, they had questions for you the last time.
Okay.
So if you have any questions in the chat, go ahead and Miss Letha and I will attempt to read through them. Um, I'm going to say this right now. If a certain group of people show up and Miss Letha and Gina know exactly who I'm talking about, they will be blocked instantly after I say what I have to say and Gina say what she has to say because I'm going to let her say what she has to say tonight.
Yes. It's a J4K. Party trolls cannot get in.
I'm going to let them say exactly what they need to say tonight. We're not going to hold it up. Oh, let me turn that down. Mike Brown, hello, chat. Hello to everyone who's out there.
Hey, Chad.
Why don't we do this real quick? Let's put those purple hearts in the chat. The march is coming up. Let's put those purple hearts in the chat.
Yes. About to paint the city purple.
Yeah,
The world, because I even know some that ain't gonna make it. That's gonna be spreading their city purple from where they're from.
Good, good. That's a great idea.
Like I said, everybody has their part. A lot of people feel bad about not being able to come, but they are social media warriors. Make sure everything's shared in the groups. Make sure her name stays alive. Everybody's got their own part. It'd be great to march with everybody because we're family now after this year.
Yes,
That's
that's
going to
how.
be the
there we
difference. It's
go.
going to be a lot more powerful. We all know each other like
Hearts.
family throughout this year.
That's right.
Hmm.
Thank you, Mike Brown. J4K for life. Marvin
Yes.
Atkins. I see pink hearts, but hearts. Um, Money Mason. Mel Carter. Hey, Mel, how you doing? All right. So, Gina, what is the plan for people who need to send things? And I know Mama T has a P.O. box. However,
Mhm.
I will not be giving the P.O. box out on this channel for various reasons. So,
Okay.
um, and I think you know why.
Yeah.
I think you feel where I'm going. You know,
Mm-hmm.
I, I know you know exactly where I'm going with that. Um, so let's talk about monies because people wanted to know if they donate money, XYZ. Let's get this out of the way and see what you all are doing in that regards.
Um, the only place I know to give it to her is either come to the protest and go on and hand it to her so can make sure it gets to her, or the PO box, which she's posted before, or maybe personally inbox me.
Hmm.
Could do it that way. That's the only two ways right now.
Yeah, and we'll put Gina Kidd information after this live goes off. I will put her information in the description so you all can contact her. Is that cool, Gina?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay. We'll get together and you can just tell me what you want me to put there. And
Okay.
I'll do it after the live is open. Okay. Money Mason has a YouTube channel, and make sure you all subscribe to um, Money Mason's channel if you have not subscribed. Okay, so what is the game plan
The
for
game.
this upcoming weekend? Let's do a talk through what's going on a Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, rolling into the previous weeks. Go ahead, give us an update, please.
Okay. So the main plan and focus is Sunday the 9th from 2 until 8, I believe. And that's where everybody will be going for sure. That's the main focus. Like I said, that's when the family will be out there. Because on the weekdays, school just started for the city and things like that. So a lot of people might not be able to make it through the work days. So we're going to focus on Sunday. Plus, that's when, you know, Mama T feels she had really passed. So that's the real anniversary in her eyes. So to come and make a whole bunch of noise, rocking your purple and Rosemont, let them know a year later we still ain't forgot. And then I know Monday, if there's enough people that want to go back out there, I'm more than willing to go out there as well. Could make it a 3-day thing. It depends how many people want to come back out. But I'm willing to go all the way up until Wednesday when they have that meeting at the village.
Okay, so let's clarify this. A
Mm-hmm.
permit is needed to protest. Who should protesters be with when they get to the state of Illinois during this protest weekend?
Well, Andre Williams, he'll be there. I think Sheena has a copy as well. They'll both be out there. So those are two that I know with a permit for sure.
Okay, so two
And they're
people that
guaranteed going.
okay, so two people that she knows for sure that you need to make sure whenever you're protesting that you are linked up with. Say their names again is
Andre Williams and
Andre
Sheena
Williams
James.
and Sheena who?
James.
And Sheena James. So Andre Williams and Sheena James are the ones with the permits for those of us who are coming in from different states to be out there protesting. Let's make sure we are with these people because what happens if you're caught protesting in the state of Illinois without a permit? Gina?
Oh, there's a possibility that they could, be petty in the rest. They usually don't. In Rosemont, they usually just come up, tell us the rules, and go about their business and just sit there and stare at us the whole time. That's usually what happens. But just in case they try some other funny stuff, we got the permits.
Okay, they have the permit, so make sure that you are sticking with somebody who has a permit at all times. unless you came to participate in some form of civil disobedience and you came to intentionally get arrested, or you don't mind. And I know there are several protesters um, who really don't mind, and sometimes protesters come just for that. So
Yes.
if you're not in that group, make sure that you're with someone who has permit at all times. Okay, so now that we have that established, what else are we doing once we get there? And how long can we anticipate on being out there? And can we bring bullhorns? Is there going to be some type of repercussions for a noise violation? Did that get handled?
Um,
Do you know?
the bullhorns are acceptable. We're all together, and if anything, they'll say no siren on the bullhorn past 8 o'clock. Some of
Okay,
them got
so
the sirens on them, and they don't like
so
those.
okay, so we cannot past 8 p.m. run the sirens that are on the bullhorns.
Right.
Okay, but we can't have bullhorns,
Yes.
and they aren't going to get us for noise violation because that's
Mhm.
included. Oh,
Right.
okay, very well. And excuse me, everyone, I'm not attempting to be rude, but I have been singing today for over an hour and 5 minutes straight, going from song to song without a break. So I am sipping my tea now, making sure my throat is lubricated. I've been drinking water earlier. Now I am on here drinking tea. So if you see me, I'm not attempting to be rude. I've just been singing all day today. Just so you know. So
She gotta
okay, Miss
save some of
Lisa.
them lungs.
Okay, Miss Lisa, what questions did you have?
I was asking Gina earlier about the weather. How was the weather? Was it cool at night? And she said it was kind of rainy, like. And what? Well, Gina, I guess you can tell us about the weather. What I asked you,
Yeah, it's
how the
been
weather was.
kind of rainy the past few days, but I hope that's just for the rainbow that's coming. But other than that, it's still been warm. You know, at the most you're gonna need is a sweater, probably at night when it gets a little bit more breezy.
Mhm.
But
Now,
For the
a
people
lot.
who are coming from southern states, if I may, for a moment, what should they bring? Because some people come from the south and they used to blue jeans, they used to be extremely hot. We are from northern states where it tends to get rather cold. So what can they prepare?
uh, yeah, probably bring like a light jacket if anything. Sometimes it could get cool, and with Chicago weather, I mean, it could be one way one day and the next day, who knows?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So yeah, just bring at least, you know, a light jacket or something for in case it does get
Okay.
chilly out here.
So
For the mer-
suggested clothing are a nice jacket or a fleece throw over something to keep yourself warm. If you know you're a cold nature person, make sure you're bringing a layering of clothing. If you know you get cold real quick, should the weather take a turn,
Mm-hmm.
because everybody's weather is taking a turn right now.
Yes.
Now, Gina, I know that it's several the J4K March group. Now, I know that a lot of them are staying for 3 days. I'm planning on staying for 3 days too, the 9th, the 10th, and the 11th. And they're planning on, well, they have already booked their rooms for those 3 days as well as me. And so it's a lot of us that's still going to be here for those 3 days. And so after that Sunday, it'll be at Crown Plaza. Do they have anything planned for Monday and that Tuesday?
Well, since there is enough, as long as there's at least 15 of us, we could take it to Crown Plaza. I mean, we
Mm-hmm.
could go to the FBI building.
Mhm.
I guess after we see how the first protest goes and how many more are gonna come out, we could figure out where to meet and where to go
Okay.
from there. But if you guys are staying 3 days, we'll do something each of those 3 days then.
Okay.
Okay, so for the people who are staying beyond Sunday, if they have 15 or more people to protest with, they will go out and continue protest. Is that correct, Gina?
Yes, I'd be happy to do it every day again if I could get people to stick together.
Very well.
Now it goes many times as somebody wants.
So once again, I will leave contact information for Gina Kidd. Are there any other questions from people in the chat? Make sure you bring a backpack too. This is a protest. Make sure you bring water. Make sure you bring things to keep yourself hydrated, be it um, Gatorade or Powerade. And if you are diabetic, have high blood pressure, or any medical ailments, make sure you have your medications. Make sure you have something to snack on, or a sound or something to sustain you. Um, because my every protest I've participated in has always been lengthy, quite lengthy.
Mm-hmm.
So make sure you have everything that you need
Mm-hmm. With
to
that
sustain
backpack too, you might
yourself.
want to put your jacket in there because it might be hot too.
Right.
So yes, well hydrated, little backpack is definitely. There's AM.
Okay. Yeah, heard.
Hey, you guys, I'm just gonna mute because my kids are gonna be loud.
Okay, love. Hey, AM.
Hey,
Hi,
Gina.
hi, Ann. Y'all know I don't mind if the kids is loud in the background. I taught for years, so the kids do not bother me at all. Let them play and have fun. Okay, so Mike is asking a question. Will Sheena and Andre have to be present the 2 days since they have the permits?
Um, no, because if anything, I could just make a copy while they're there or hold it down for them, something like that. So no, they won't have to be.
Okay, so Gina said as long as she has a copy of the permit, they will not have to be present. But she does need a valid copy of the permit,
Mm-hmm.
and everything should be fine.
No,
Yep.
so Gina, in your experience from protesting at the Crown Plaza, and I've watched some of your videos too, they basically just stand and watch.
Yeah.
One I saw they were like up on a balcony or something. They mostly just stand around and watch. A lot of them were polite, but I don't know. With many as people as I'm anticipating coming, it may be a whole new ball game because I did see something where I know it's a lot going on in Chicago. People are protesting for a lot of different reasons, and they had made a statement that they wasn't going to allow anybody to destroy their property and stuff like that. But we coming in peace. We have no, we don't want to destroy anybody's property. But
Exactly.
we just want justice. I mean, that's it. We just want
Mm-hmm.
justice.
Exactly.
Yep. And that's why they're mad because they wanted plenty of times to try to make us look like rioters or try to just make us look like, some people just want to cause a disaster, for fun or something. But no, we're just coming asking for answers,
That's
They, they
it.
they they could stop this if they would reopen the case and investigate it properly.
Hello, say it again. I don't think
Hmm.
they, in case they stop by, and the police do be going back and viewing videos, whether people believe it or know it or not. But say it again for them.
Yes, they would love to call us rioters. They would love to make us look a hot mess. But all we're coming for in peace is some answers. Let them know we ain't forgot. And they will stop once they go ahead and investigate this case properly. Give
But
us
Right.
some real
until then,
answers.
but until then, there will be
Shut
no justice
it
and no peace.
down.
That's
No
right.
peace
Shut it
at
down.
all.
That's it.
No
Because they're not going to
justice,
make any
no
money.
peace.
And even if you put stuff on social media about Crown Plaza and what happened, you may not think it does any good, but it does. Somebody's
It
gonna see
does.
it. Somebody's gonna see it and say, "Well, I'm not gonna stay there." So we have to hit them in their pockets. We have to. That's the only way that we can get any kind of recognition or anything to let them know, hey, you did something wrong. And her family, The world and a whole lot of people want to know what happened. That's just it. What happened? We went by the footage that you put out. We didn't see any crime scene tape. We didn't see any fingerprints being taken. So we only came to conclusions that we have is from some footage that you put out. So we don't agree with
Uh-huh.
that
Right.
at
Yep.
And
all.
if I could piggyback off that,
Mm-hmm.
they came out from the beginning, and I'll post a video this week, which I meant to put up yesterday, but been, things have been coming up. Um, when you go back to the very beginning, they gave a possible path that she took. They did
Mm-hmm.
not prove that she had taken that path. This was
Exactly.
just a speculation because, to me, in my mind, this case could have quickly been over and it's still being litigated in the court of law
Yes.
if they would have
Absolutely.
proven that she walked herself into that freezer, but they can't prove that. Where's the forensics from the hallway? Footprint
Mm-hmm.
impression. There is no other tennis shoe like the one she was wearing that would fit true to her foot. I don't
Yep.
care who else had it. I don't care how many people have it. When you start extracting information from footprint impressions, it's only going to match up to hers. Fingerprints. Her hand was on the hallway, on the
Mm-hmm.
walls down the hallway. Well, if this is a path that you say she took, where the fingerprints from off the walls, where the fingerprints from inside the kitchen, that tile is they had perfect tile in there to get perfect footprint impressions off of. Where's all this at? Because I haven't
Mm-hmm.
seen it in any documentation at any time for any reason.
Nope. And I also
Neither.
seen in the footage, I seen a white cloth part of her jacket, and it's not on there like it got ripped off in the freezer. So where's that part of the cloth jacket, that white part?
And on top of that, she walked in there immaculate, supposedly immaculate, hair straight to the T. So how the hell, if she walked in there like that, how the hell she turned out looking like she's been wet and fighting and all that stuff? What the hell happened?
Exactly.
Who did it and why? Right,
Exactly.
right. And so what I'm saying, beyond a shadow of a doubt, is that the police did not, for me, prove anything. You
Yep.
said she walked in there, and that's why I call it a false narrative. You say she walked into a freezer at a hotel that she knew absolutely nothing about. And the police said in August, what was that? When they reposted some audio on the Rosemont website, which they update every day, even
Mm-hmm.
today, uh, that they needed help for the basement because it was larger than what they thought it was. They reposted
Mm-hmm.
that audio. They needed help. They needed the fire department. So if they needed the fire department, what is the probability that she went throughout that whole hotel by herself? She did. She wasn't there every day.
Mm-mm.
She didn't
Mm-mm.
frequent that place all the
Mm-mm.
time. And
No.
people need to stop telling those lies. I'm gonna call it what it is, a lie.
Yep. That's exactly
And
what
if you
it
come
is.
to this channel with some foolishness, I'm gonna call you what you are, a liar.
And
Yep.
then
And
why
then
would you have to come up with a false narrative
mhm,
or a narrative if you have footage? Why would you have to come up with if you have footage? Why would you have to come up with something say, okay, we think she did this or she went this way when you should be footage of whatever happened. It should
Something
be
happened
there.
in between if they don't have that footage.
Exactly.
Right. So
plain
then they try
and
to find out.
simple. Plain and
Mm-hmm.
simple. They have the footage. Where is it?
Exactly.
Because
Mm-hmm.
we want to see it. Where's
I
it at?
mean, there's old articles that said there's footage of her in the lobby. Andrew Holmes said he seen her go through the lobby. Where's this lobby footage? We don't even see her get on the elevator to go upstairs.
Uh-uh.
Hello.
We seen everybody else go in and out of the elevators. We seen
Yes.
her come out by herself. Who does she
Mm-hmm.
walk in the elevators with? They can't even prove that.
Exactly.
They can't even tell us she ever went to the room.
And you might as well come on and just tell the truth too. There's no five-star hotels gonna cover up a crime for some little old black children that's in a motel that's smoking and drinking. They're not gonna cover up for any kids. So I just that's me personal. I think you need to squash anybody who needs to squash that. They're not gonna cover
Mm-hmm.
up anything for no kids. Come on now, for real.
Uh-uh.
The
They
only
were
people they
definitely
will cover
involved.
up for themselves. That's it.
Yep.
It's
Yeah,
about their bottom
Mm-hmm.
line and
that's
nobody
it.
else at the end of the day.
That's right.
Mm-hmm.
And their employees and their people because isn't it a bit peculiar? And I need to pause right here. You had your employee, you sit up there and let this employee run a credit card through three plus times that kept getting declined, and you just gonna run somebody else
Mm-hmm.
through
I
there
mean,
anyway?
and they let her left and came back and tried to run it again. That's setting off red flags for me already. So why would
And
you allow them to do that?
no one got terminated.
Because they
Did
didn't did it
Then they got the
before.
lock key report for Holiday Inn room 926.
right? Did somebody get suspended? Because I didn't see any paperwork on the suspension.
Mm-mm.
Because
And then
they didn't did stuff like this before, Corinza. That's why. That's why they let them
exactly,
did it. They they
exactly.
And the
they
kids
didn't.
told them to let them cover up the smoke detectors, take them down.
Yeah,
Yeah,
the
that's a
security
plug right
admitted.
there. That don't happen.
Yeah, security admitted that in his police statement that he, yeah, he told him, take this smoke detectors down, put towels under the door, and the kids even said it. And you look in the footage, you can see the towels under the door and the smoke detector are down. So they're not lying, and he admitted to it.
You ain't gonna be that friendly
Okay,
unless you're getting something out of it.
and I need to piggyback off this because looking at initial videos that the news were reporting, so the police were looking for all the suspects or possible suspects or people that they deemed suspects at that time from people inside the room. Excuse me, hold the heck up just for a minute. You had a hotel full of people.
Hmm.
Where are those list of suspects? You had a hotel full of staff. Where's that
Hmm.
list of suspects at? Because everybody on the premises, I will say it again, was a suspect.
Hmm.
And
Yeah.
I didn't see guests getting questioned. I don't see that paperwork. I
Hmm.
don't really see any employees getting questioned to the degree that they should have been questioned. I don't see that paperwork. Not only that, I would like to know who had remote access to those cameras. I also would like to know who was punching in and punching out, logging in and logging out of the surveillance security system. Can I see that
Hmm.
documentation, please?
Yes. Please show the world that. Please.
I don't see how they just expect this to go away because I mean this is somebody's child. I mean I just don't see how they just don't have any sympathy or anything for somebody else's child, especially the way if they do, it'll eat them up. It'll eat them up. It'll eat them up the rest of their life. They don't have any peace. They won't have any peace unless somebody come forward and tell the fucking truth and let it be
Hmm.
like that, and then they'll get peace. But until then, they really don't have any peace. They don't.
I
They
guarantee you,
don't.
you go up in there and you start offering them $1 million,
Yeah, somebody
Hmm.
gonna
million
talk.
to $2 million inside of the police department. The police will start snitching.
Hmm.
Hmm.
And even at the
You start
hotel,
offering them some money.
somebody probably got some footage that
Guarantee
they
you, they'll
holding.
start telling.
You know how it is, Corinza and Gina too.
Hmm.
Somebody's got some footage and know something. They probably gonna blackmail them or something, hold it over, they dingle it over their head like a carrot or something. But it's not. It's no good gonna come in. Wrong follows wrong and right follows right, and that's
Right.
just it.
Uh-uh. That guilt is gonna get to somebody. Then it's gonna be the pointing the fingers game. At the beginning, it kind of seemed like that's what was going on. The statements don't even add up. Some people that claim they seen her leave, some people said she left by herself. Another said that she left with two friends. That's a big difference. Did she leave by herself or did she leave with the friends?
Well, there's one statement that never swayed in everything that she said, and I have to give it to Irene. Irene never swayed from any statement she said the last time she saw Kanika was around two something. In every statement she said that two something, two something. And the original videos that we saw before the time stamps got all messed up, she did get off the elevator at 2:24. That would coincide. When I first saw her got off that lobby elevator, it said 2:24. Now where 3:24 came up later on, I don't know, but I saw her get off at 2:24 in the very beginning, and
Mm-hmm.
And Irene did say she left around 2 something. Irene and her sister said Monifa woke her up. Said Monifa.
Yeah,
She didn't say.
Irene said that Monifa carried her out the room.
Yeah, you can't. And
So
she
what
didn't
people
say
put her down on the floor outside?
she didn't say Shemaya was with her. She said Monifa came and woke her up and carried her out. And she said and even Irene's sister said she'd have been all right if Monifa hadn't woke her up and carried her out of there. So my thing is the friends. I think the friends are guilty because they didn't have her back. Like like we supposed to, it's a sister code that you don't move. You don't. If you go to the bathroom, we go to the bathroom. If you go outside, we all hang together. And I think that's where they kind of messed up at on the sister code.
Exactly. Now, if I could piggyback off that, uh, I need to go back here and understand this. What in the world and why in the world was the hotel never put on a lockdown? Nobody in and nobody out. Because let's look at this for what it is. In the beginning, they never said it was an accident. So automatically it's being ruled as a homicide. But you got people cascading in, you got them cascading out. You got them all over that hotel. Not one time did they lock that hotel down and say, listen, nobody's getting in this hotel and nobody's getting out until we question everybody. Simple. Yes, employees, okay? I don't care how many people up in here. We getting ready to question everybody. And nobody can tell me it's not doable because the FBI do it all the time. But they can run through thousands of witnesses. Nobody in, nobody out. It's locked down. That never happened. They should have locked that down. No. So the police got to own what they did. They didn't do a thorough investigation. Own it.
Sure didn't. And Crown Plaza said that kitchen has been shut down and no employees has been in there until Kanika went in there. And we see all types of people going in and out that kitchen. So I don't know
exactly,
what
Gina. That was always a lie. If I could piggyback off that, that was always a lie. And they only gave us so much video footage out of hundreds of hours. We only have so much video footage. They only gave us what they deemed we needed to see. No, all of it is relevant to me. Let me decide what's relevant and what's irrelevant.
About 30 seconds of snippets when she was roaming around that hotel for about an hour. Come on now.
So I want all the video footage.
And really, you had to think about that time of the night too. At any hotel or motel, at that time of the night, it's basically just the staff that's roaming around, and like Carissa said, it was video security.
Pool, people going to the pool, people eating because they do have continental breakfast, and usually that continental area is open 24 hours a day. Come on now. And then they had a store near on the side. Come on now. And then I want to talk about the bogus way that they took the pictures. It's absolutely horrid to me. It's absolutely horrid to me. It's horrendous. And it's bogus. Completely bogus.
For one thing, how can the freezer door be shut if her foot is laying in the doorway and maybe a lip gloss? When you open it up, that's all gonna move, isn't it? So how a foot laying in the doorway if the door was shut? That's one of the things that stuck out to me when I first saw those pictures. How is that door shut and her foot is laying right where it would have to come right across to shut it all the way up?
Those doors don't even close by themselves. So not only are trying to say that she opened them up to get into not only the cooler, that wasn't cool enough, but go into the freezer too and close both doors behind her.
No.
Okay, now let me see this right here because they're talking about the hotel being known for prostitution and many other things. Also look at the staff. Okay. I'm going to say this about the hotel, and I don't know it to be true, but it could be a site like you had those sites in Florida where it's just one of those distribution sites where people meet and human trafficking is taking place, where you're selling off or attempting to sell off another human to somebody else, to another country, whatever. And so there's a bigger overall picture and reason as to why uh, the police, right along with the hotel, uh, did not allow a thorough investigation to go forth. And let's go back to this. Where was OSHA at? It was inside a kitchen. OSHA should have
Mhm.
been there. That's the health
Yeah,
department. Where were
yeah.
they? Come on now.
And
Yeah.
that's another. Why you
Somebody can
mentioned
sit
that
up here
too,
and tell me
Karen?
this to my face.
Why you
Unbelievable.
mentioned that too? Uh,
You know?
couldn't OSHA be? Couldn't they be reported to OSHA? Can anybody just report them? Say, look, they say there's no cameras here, and this girl was found dead in the freezer. Is it too late for some to report it, or can we report it?
And I don't know if there's a statute of limitations on that, what time you would have to have submitted that in, but I can always find out
Okay.
if there was one, because I know sometimes you have to fall within that time frame, or
Mm-hmm.
else but it still don't hurt to try, even though they
Mm-hmm.
say this whatever expired, whatever.
Mhm.
It don't hurt to try.
Because that would hit them in the pockets really, really deep if they got a fine from OSHA. Really, really deep.
If they're still putting the files in and editing stuff
And
and
this is
doing
what
all
the
that stuff, I mean,
oh, I'm
if their
still
statutes of limitations ain't up, ours shouldn't be. They still
And you know
playing
what,
with the
Gina?
files and all that stuff.
wait a
So
minute.
hey,
Let me say this, Gina, because someone is saying, okay, Gina, as much as J4K, why would someone implicate you? Okay, that's when they lied and said you was there
I was in the
in the
footage. I
hotel.
was the tranny. I'm a
Yeah.
crisis actress, all that stuff. Yeah, because, like I said, I do this for fun. Of course, I would still be out there even when nobody else was out there. I'm still sitting here a year later saying F Rosemont, shut them down, and all that stuff. I mean, it doesn't make no sense. Those people are just either people who are truly on the other side of justice or got a personal feelings towards me because they didn't get an answer for me or I didn't want to go on their messy panel or something like that. That's all that is.
Okay, Miss Evelyn, now because we getting questions, and so there was a cup left on the table for a month. Thank you, Evelyn. They won't allow us to see the hundreds of hours of video footage that's available, so we can really see and get a clear perspective of whether or not that cup was left there for a month. They gave us edited down what 36 hours. How many hours did
Mm-hmm.
they release us? 36
36.
hours.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
36 hours out of hundreds hours of video footage, and then they tried to say privacy. I don't want to hear that. I want
Right.
all the video footage. I want
Mm-hmm.
to decide what's relevant and what's not. I want unedited video footage.
But yes, there definitely was a cup that should have been fingerprinted to see who was
Mm-hmm.
in that kitchen. In the kitchen, they swore nobody was in.
Yep.
That was Starbucks cup. I know which one they're talking about.
Mm.
And anybody with a Starbucks cup, I mean, I seen a couple in the footage. So I mean, they definitely should have been questioned why anybody with a Starbucks cup because there was one in the kitchen. But
And my
they were
thing
too
is,
busy trying to cover it up rather than do an investigation.
I mean, everybody's probably been in the court at one point in their life or another. And once you lie and they catch you in a lie, then you're discredited. Anything else you got to say is done. And my thing is, they said had nobody been in that kitchen since it was August the 30th. That's what they said,
Exactly.
Jada, August the 30th. And we know
Mm-hmm.
that was a lie because then we saw footage of people going in the kitchen. So to me, you already discredited on a lot of things. So
Yeah,
I
that's
don't
when the
see
FBI
why.
should have had no choice but to come up in there. Now they're
That's what I'm
lying.
saying. Yes. So let me ask you this, Carissa and Gina, whoever know. So did the FBI ask Rosemont did they need help?
That's what they said.
That's what they
They
Okay.
said
said.
the FBI came in and said they needed help.
And they
And I
declined.
don't know if it's because Rosemont's a whole family and stuff, so they all gonna say no, that they got it. I
Right.
guess that's what they said they did.
Yeah.
Said no, they don't
Yep.
need no help, but then they called Target for help, for free help.
It seemed like to me they didn't want the FBI in there then. Why?
Target does free fingerprints too. They could have
Mm,
got those for free.
mm. And then there was too much suspicion going on when the coroner picked Kanika up too. That little old dude looked like Gilligan. It was just too much going on with him and putting stuff under
Mhm.
his coat. I just didn't feel right about that. To me, that was a crime scene. So why are you trying to put stuff under your coat and all this shit? It just wasn't right. It just wasn't right. And then from the footage that we did see them, from the camera view, we could see them uh, taking the stretcher in there and bringing her out the freezer, but we can't see her walk in there. So to me, that
Mhm.
was bullshit too.
Okay, now
Mhm.
I need to jump in real quick because Robin is asking, weren't we supposed to get 72 hours of footage? I thought they said that at first. And that's what we've been waiting on. I would have to go back and see what they said at first because they've said so much stuff.
Yeah.
Uh, you know, I would have to go back to everybody's news and read all the articles to see because they kept saying stuff and then they kept doing other stuff. They said one thing and they did something different. Also, we're talking about that cup again, being near all day, drug use. Um, also,
Yes, because if the kitchen's being unused, then why would a Starbucks
uh,
cup be in there?
somebody's bringing up number 45, which I refuse to acknowledge because whatever with him. Um, yeah, I've said that several times. The manager had an epiphany that she was in the freezer after everybody had been looking for all that time. All of a sudden, he had an epiphany. She's in the freezer. He had an
Um,
epiphany that she was in the freezer. I did some videos on that. And like I said, but since they had remote access to the cameras, quite naturally, they knew where she were and the cameras that they disabled along the back to say that they were unoperable. I'm still waiting to see the investigation proving that those cameras indeed were inoperable and were not intentionally disabled. We don't
mhm.
even have that.
Nope. And the security
Now
guard
you
the
see
kids
why
kept
we
talking
say
about, and even Zach was talking about that he interviewed was they said a short, chunky Hispanic, a Latino guy. The guy we see is tall and skinny that was supposed to be the security guard. So I
But
don't even know who was going up to that room.
because let me say this: in the very, very beginning, after when it very, like last year, when it very happened, it was two security guards in that hall. It was a Franz, the one that we see that's bleeding, and he had
Uh-huh.
another man that worked with him that was real, real tall and skinny. And
Mm-hmm.
I saw him at the Rosemont protest that y'all had, but he has been deleted out of any footage. He was in there with friends in that hall. He was two security men in the hall in the hall footage, and he's been deleted out of that footage. But he was there. I saw him, and I
Mm-hmm.
recognized him. And I think he had on a security outfit that day, standing in front of Crown Plaza. But he was in that footage when they very first released it. But he's not in there anymore.
Mm-hmm. So I'm
And
the
saying
it,
chat is
everything's
on
been
fire
edited.
tonight. Thank you, chat, for being lit up and on fire because it's some fire down here in this chat. Maintenance guy said that was part of his daily checking freezer temperatures, and we've gone over the freezer temperatures. I don't believe anything that they're saying. Okay, so you said the kitchen space was inoperable. It was down, but
Mhm.
employees still had access to that area. So
Right. Then they said they were renting it out. Well, who are they renting it out to? Because that place was a mess.
when the beverage manager said, oh no, when he gets questioned, oh no, it's no, nobody's, it's closed. The kosher kitchen is closed. So just because closed kitchen is closed does not mean that people did not have access to the kitchen. People truly was walking in and out of that kitchen all the time. So nobody
Mm-hmm.
cared the fact that, oh, the kosher kitchen was closed for construction. No, your employees still had access to the kitchen and you did too. And you
Mm-hmm.
also had access to them cameras because keep this in mind. Ooh, I want to see that beverage manager. Um,
Mm-hmm.
he wasn't just the beverage manager. Let's keep in mind that he also functioned as security for the hotel from time to
mm-hmm,
time too. And if you're going to function as security, that means you really have access
mm-hmm,
to the cameras. I don't want to
uh-huh,
Yeah.
hear I don't want to hear
mm-hmm,
the foolishness coming from their mouth, not
mm-hmm.
directly to my face. You could sit there and tell that to that detective, but they couldn't have told that to me without me saying something.
And that front lobby security dude and stuff like that, he was gone through a lot of the time that Kanika was missing. And where is he in the footage?
Which
Where
one,
is he
Gina?
roaming around to? The one that stands by the door, by that little post up there. He just stands up there looking like a little penguin.
Yeah, little short dude.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Now he kind of sounds like what they were describing as the security guard.
Now, one of the security guards, if I can piggyback off that, is sitting right at the front desk, going through video footage.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
It seemed like the front desk manager was too.
Right there.
Mm-hmm. Because I'm pretty sure
that front desk lady is the one who was looking through the cameras for Kanika. She's the one that at first she walked.
No, that's fine. Yeah, I saw her doing that, but I want to know.
That's when the manager ran down there and went to go find the first
management that showed up. Because remember, management, especially upper management, they have remote access to those cameras at their house. So you could be at home viewing video footage of all the sections of what's going on. Who called whom?
Exactly.
Why didn't they get questioned?
Exactly.
Yeah. Just like that transgender lady in the pink. She was in the lobby the whole time. She was using the Crown Plaza phone and she had a cell phone in her hand. What was going on?
And then one time, did anybody at the front?
Piggybacking off of, okay, Robin, you're piggy. Excuse me. Okay, Robin, I'm waiting for your piggyback. Just let me know and I'll read it. Security are the ones with access to the cameras, not just security, but management. Upper management always have access to cameras.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Even in anybody ever worked at a service station or a gas station?
Especially the general manager who turned the video footage over to the police.
Mm-hmm.
And then something else was creepy about that kitchen. If nobody used it, then why would you have pillows down in the office? Why would you have pillows in the office in the kitchen?
Now, let me say this. If I had to go to court for the prosecutor on this case, because Miss Martin is bringing, so she's on the prosecuting side, and I had to be an expert witness up there, and it was my time to take the stand, I would want to know, was the general manager there the night the incident occurred? Why was the general manager allowed to turn the video footage over to the police, which never should have happened in the first place? Police got a warrant and got the entire IP surveillance unit, and we would not be here having this discussion on the police to the degree that we're having it. I'm sure we would be discussing it, but not to the degree that we are tonight. So I would like to know, because if the general manager was not there when the incident occurred, they had no business turning any video footage over. That's a violation in the rules of technology when it comes to digital and forensic evidence. You better have had yourself there that night, or they could get you for authentication. Straight up, flat out.
Yeah. And just looking at the little snippets, I mean, some people are picture perfect and some people are super blurry. You can't even see what they look like.
And then my thing is too, when some of the pictures were blurry, especially Kanika's face, and somebody brought it up one time in the chat. Why was her face blurry? Was it because she was crying? Was it because she looked like she was scared? Why would you blur her face unless she's crying and you didn't want to see, didn't want us to see that she was crying or maybe hurt or somebody had hit her? Because the autopsy report did say her brain was swollen. Am I right, Corinza?
That's right. She had swelling of the brain.
So how did that happen?
A collapsed lung.
Okay, so how did that happen? I mean, how did she get a collapsed lung?
Or anything.
No, so how did that happen?
But they said she had swelling of the brain and a collapsed lung. But they said the cause of death was hypothermia. How is the cause of death hypothermia when, if she was hypothermia prevents swelling of the brain. So those two directly oppose each other. So I'm not going with their cause of death, and I never have, and I never will.
And
Furthermore,
I'm
they
never
didn't take her
going with a
body.
medical
Right,
examiner that
not the
needs
medical
video
examiner.
footage in order to make her final ruling.
Not with that medical examiner. Now, see, it would be different if she was one of the number one pathologists in the world who could look at a picture and tell you how the person died. And we
Mm,
got some out there, but these people have done over 20,000 autopsies plus. So they could just look at a picture and be like, this happened and be accurate and go get they suspect, go get the person prosecuted. They're going up the river.
yeah.
My thing is this: would they even conclude with that foolishness when hypothermia and swelling of the brain don't go together because hypothermia prevents swelling of the brain. That's one of the methods they use to prevent your brain from swelling. So,
Mhm.
why was not the cause of death swelling of the brain and a collapsed lung? How did her lung get collapsed? How did her brain get swollen? They never gave a reason for that.
And then too, Corinza, if she was frozen solid, then how did they do an autopsy so fast?
I'm not going with that frozen solid either.
Uh-uh.
They didn't
Mm-mm.
prove
Uh-uh.
that scientifically. They didn't
Mm-mm.
prove that scientifically
Mm-mm.
nor medically,
Mm-mm.
nor did they take a
Especially
body
when they make the
temperature.
mama wait 4 hours, talking about 4 hours so she could defrost.
Mm-mm, mm-mm.
You
And
know,
if
keep
she
her
was,
body. First of all, she should have been able to see how her daughter was right when they found her.
that's
Hold
right.
on, hold on. They didn't
Everybody
take
else was in that damn kitchen.
So,
right, and they didn't take a body temperature. They did not take her body temperature. Would have helped to determine the time she died. They didn't tell us the time she died. They didn't
Mm-hmm.
take her body temperature. I don't see that in the documentation. I don't see it in
Mm-mm.
the documentation.
and
So
what's
they
some of the reason for a
mislead with that
collapsed lung?
foolishness.
And what's some
Mislead
of the
with that
reason?
foolishness. It's different reasons why your lungs could collapse. Fluid,
Uh-huh.
you can drown in fluid, um, carbon monoxide. It's just different reasons a person lung can collapse.
Well, damn,
Different
that should have
reasons.
made them just really want to see. Okay, what? Okay, she walked in the freezer, supposedly what they said. Then she got a collapsed lung. That just don't make no sense
And
at
Mm-mm.
her
all.
brain is swollen,
Yes.
but she died of hypothermia.
And then you correct me if I'm wrong too, Corinne, but then I also saw in that autopsy report it said she had and don't too many people talk about it. She had the gang rape drug in there. It was like at the very bottom of it listed everything, and it had like the gang rape. Don't nobody ever talk about that either.
I had to go back to that report because I think I remember seeing something like that
Yeah,
too.
I mean, but why? I mean, that's
But
important.
there's stuff that's
Okay, wait a minute. Can I
undetectable.
go here? Can I go here
Hmm.
because who is this? Douglas Anderson or saying is saying we all know about the security guard, the cleaning employees. No, we don't. We really. I don't know enough about them. I don't know. I
Uh-uh.
don't know anything. And let me finish this right here. I don't know anything about their history. I don't know where they came from. I don't know where they work at. I don't know where they live at. I don't know if they have any records. I don't know if they have a history of doing anything. So I don't know enough about them. Now, people have, on the other hand, I've seen so many YouTube channels dragging the kids through the mud. They didn't been on their Facebook pages. They didn't been all up on Googling where they live and things like that. And some of those people who went down as suspects, like Ty Rowland, he's in jail. Yeah, they got some of them in jail. Yeah. So, but when it comes to the hotel employees and staff, I don't know enough about them. Where do they live at? Where do they work at? How long they've been working there? Where are
Exactly.
their records at? Who are their family members? Who are they connected to? I don't know
Hmm.
enough about them, and I do not want the fake information that's being pushed out here about them. I'm talking about some real concrete information on them. I don't know enough about them. I want to know who they tied up to, who's tied to
I've
who,
reached out.
how
I've
long they've
reached
been
out and
working
looked
there.
into a couple of them, and a few of them were hired from a place called Clean Sleep. That's where they hire felons and
Yeah.
people that usually can't get a job. They help with. I think that's all part of the plan too.
But the
Some
main
people are
thing,
desperate for money and will shut up. They don't want to go back to their country,
but the
or
main thing, Gina, is that owner has a some kind of contract with the Mexican something where they
yeah, I
hire
remember that
people
coming out too.
from
Hmm.
there. They come from there and they hire them over there and stuff like that. So it's a lot of places that these security and these different people are coming from that they're hired out help. They may not have a green card. They might. How do we know? So we don't know a lot about none of
We
the
don't
folks.
know.
That's what I'm
We don't know
like
anything about the
no.
staff.
Yeah.
Like Corinza said, it should have been shut down, and maybe we would have knew something about everybody that was there that night that it happened.
Right. With an open
And we don't.
investigation, ain't no security supposed to be able to take flight, especially when he's the one that was letting them drink and smoke, not knowing if they're 21 or not, knowing marijuana is illegal, knowing he
And
was
then
running all over the damn
yeah,
hotel, but then they didn't report no incidents.
and then guess what, Gina? And he was bleeding from footage
Yeah,
that
we
they
saw him
put out.
bleed. We saw him
Mm-hmm.
So
bleed.
what was up with that? Why was he
Looked like a
bleeding?
lot was going on. There was a
Why
lot of
did
glitches in that footage as well.
why didn't they also question hotel guests?
Mm-hmm.
Because I've been looking at a lot of video footage from guests who stay at the Crown Plaza Hotel in Chicago here, and it seems like it's always a guest that's giving a picture or posting a picture from the view of a window or inside the hotel. So you mean to tell me no, none of the guests saw her?
Yep.
I don't
They,
Especially
believe
just
that.
roaming around the hotel for an hour when
I
it
don't
seemed
believe
like
that.
that hotel was very busy. There's
somebody
always
saw her.
there's
Somebody
always
saw
loads
her.
of people coming in because they got a bus that goes from the airport straight to the. They got a shuttle bus that goes from the to the airport to the Crown Plaza. People always coming in and out them buses. You see a lot of people with their luggage and stuff getting ready to get on the bus. Even that tranny in the pink, she definitely should have been. I'm not gonna say it. I mean, she definitely should have been questioned because I mean, she got her luggage from behind the desk, like as if she worked for them or something.
Mm, mm,
When
mm.
she got ready for leave,
Right,
they pulled it out the back.
right.
Yeah,
And
use
I'm
the
agree with the
phone.
chat because the chat is on fire tonight. That's right. They letting the security leave. Where you
Hmm.
Mm-hmm.
going the next
Yeah,
day?
yeah. They
And we
should
don't know,
advise
and
him.
we
No, you
don't know
don't.
that this is an accident. Where are you going the next day? You're not going anywhere.
They
I
should.
would
Yeah.
They
say, guess what?
they
Your
supposed
trip
to
is
tell him you can't leave until we finish our investigation. That's what they supposed to tell him.
Mm-hmm.
no independent witnesses, right?
Mm-mm.
They didn't question a single guest that stayed at the hotel. Not a
No,
single one.
they did what they did and just went with what the family's sticking to. They'll keep that money coming in. That's all they were worried about.
And I thought for sure they would have questioned the lady that had the little girl that got off the elevator a couple of minutes or slash seconds after Kanika got off because they was in the same hallway. And the way
Mm-hmm.
that they wanted to portray her staggering, just so inebriated and intoxicated. Surely she wasn't walking that fast, and that lady saw her right up in there. So how come they didn't question her and the rest of the people?
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to hear this from the police. And people wondering why am I going to be so hard on the police and the detectives? Because if this is your profession and you've been in this field for a long time, you should know better.
Yeah,
You should know
Mm-hmm.
better. I don't want to. They should know better.
I
And
Simple.
they
really
know
truly
Rosemont is not that big. They know you could just rewind those cameras.
and I truly believe if Mama T hadn't showed up when she did, Kanika would have just been a missing person. We would have never, her mama would have never found her or knew what
Mm.
happened to her. That's what my opinion, now what I believe.
Or
I
if her
really do
mama
believe
would
that.
have just settled instead of demanding some more answers and prove it, say, nah, they didn't prove it. If she
The
would have
only
just settled,
time,
then the world wouldn't be so into it and know for a fact. So,
Gina,
so some went down. They tried to offer her
yeah,
money. She don't want that double money.
hell no. The only
She wants
reason
to.
that the police came because Mama T and her family was beating on doors trying to
Mm-hmm.
find a Kanika on their own, and they
And
called
you
the
sure
police
don't see
on
that in the
them.
footage. They sure took
No,
that out of the footage. And when they brought the canines and Mama T was trying to get them to,
sniff some of Kanika's
smell some of
clothes.
her clothes
Yeah,
and all that stuff. No, they brought the dogs to lock the family up and to threaten the family. Now, if
and
something
then
would have happened on my property, I would feel so bad. I would do anything to make that mom comfortable.
yeah.
Not treat her like a damn suspect when she the only one that wasn't in that motherfucker. Sorry,
And
excuse
le-
my language.
and then too, let me go on and address this while we talking about Mama T. Mama T was not. I repeat, was not in that room, nor was Gina in that room. Where all this BS is coming from, I don't know. It's probably a distraction or whatever. But So I'm going. So people just take their advice. They say if you don't agree with what they say, or if you don't like what they say, then just don't be on their page and leave their page. So that's
Mhm.
the advice that I took. And so I don't know why these people want to keep on dragging Mama T through the mud, man. Because I tell you, I had an
Don't they
anxiety
think
attack.
Crown Plaza? Well, don't
Huh?
they think Crown Plaza would love to point out that Mama T was there? I know
Hell
they
yeah.
sure
Wouldn't have to
would,
pay
since
her.
she the
Yeah,
one
they
coming
It
would.
wouldn't
at
pay
them.
her. That wouldn't be. She wouldn't be in court.
She wouldn't be in court. These
Mm-mm.
people got to use their common sense. And then what makes it so bad, these YouTubers are talking about how they going to sue somebody else and take them to court. Well, if it was me, if I was Mama T, I'd be trying to find out if I can get you for declamation of character and all this shit.
She
Because, oh,
could.
hey, it works both ways.
There's a
Why would?
decent amount of what is it? Statutes of limitations for that. There is. So people could keep on if they want to. Right now her focus is on justice for her baby.
Right.
But best believe if she gets a little bit of peace and time to actually think about you trolls, y'all in trouble.
Yeah, they in trouble. I already
A
said
lot
it.
of
I want
trouble.
her to.
Mm-hmm.
I want
I
Yeah,
her
do
to.
too.
me too. Because that's her baby. I mean, that's Kanika is Mama T child. She birthed her.
Please,
And my thing
please.
is like this: when she is able
I'm
to
gonna
talk,
piggyback off that. Excuse me.
man, y'all better get ready because the beast coming.
Mm-hmm.
And I want her to because people need to understand. Anytime you slander, they didn't just. It's not just defamation. You're going into slander too. See what people
Mm-hmm.
fail to realize is because she didn't hit him, don't mean she's not gonna get him.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
What they failed to realize is once you publish anything to a third party site about somebody and it's false, get your attorney together because they can turn around and sue your behind for defamation of character,
Mm-hmm.
slander, get punitive damages and everything else because you know now you've caused them to suffer embarrassment, shame, you've traumatized them. You could
Right. And
cause their employers to view them some type of way or people to
mm-hmm.
view them some type of way. So people need to realize, I've said this before, the first time anybody do any video out the way or out of pocket on me, I didn't already spoke with attorneys. Understand this, we gonna go to court. I'm
Mm-hmm.
not Mama T. I'm not the rest of
Mm-hmm.
these YouTubers. We going straight to court. I'm gonna use the
Mm-hmm.
full extent of the law, and I'm gonna make sure my attorneys put their weight on
Mm-hmm. And they better know that these lawyers would love to give Mama T some help because there's so many out there. They know they got some money coming.
it. And
Yeah.
they all want to get a piece. We
Mm-hmm.
all want a piece of that money.
And then let me
Mm-hmm.
address this too while we got people in the chat. Another thing, uh, Kanika's headstone. That's Mama T business. Why would she go out and get a
Mm-hmm.
headstone for these people to destroy it, to kick it, to
Yeah,
do all
all
this
that mess
bullshit
going
that they've
on.
been doing? Why would she do it? I
Mm-hmm.
wouldn't. I
Let's not
wouldn't.
forget she has
I really
not given
wouldn't.
up on justice. Well, what if they, in the future may have to dig this baby back up?
Exactly. Exactly. I wouldn't put a headstone up there now either. I really wouldn't. And
Mm-hmm.
then my thing is people they fuss so much. Hell, if you want one here, you go buy one then.
But I don't know what's the point. I really don't. We know that her spirit's everywhere, waking up people. Uh,
The people they just
mhm.
only look so limited because if you remember Kanika's funeral was beautiful. She had doves, she had everything. So don't you think? How come you don't know her mama hadn't uh contacted somewhere that's gonna make her a beautiful purple one that's got purple
Mhm.
rain on it? How you know?
Yep, they don't,
Why
and that's
is
why they're
that
mad.
even important when the police did not even in the police and the detectives did not do a thorough
Right. That's called
investigation.
people ran out
Even
of content.
even
That's
the
what that means.
attorneys were shocked and astonished in the beginning, especially if you listen to them, that they closed the case and ruled it an accident so quickly. So I'm not getting ready to be focused on no headstone when the
Uh-uh.
police didn't do
If
and the
you really
detectives
want
didn't do their
justice,
Exactly,
job.
I mean, that
exactly.
has nothing to do with justice.
That's the
Don't
last
blame
thing I'm talking
That's
about.
J4K
neither
worried
here nor
about
there.
them.
That's
That's neither
right.
here nor there for me. That's neither here nor there for me.
That's right.
Mhm.
Because I would rather have my baby back with me, and I'm pretty sure Mama T would too. Because whatever happened at Crown Plaza, Hotel Rosemont with Kanika roaming around there and nobody helped her. And then all of a sudden she wind up dead in a freezer. And the beverage manager, just as big as that plate, he just come right in and go right in. Oh, I found her. So it's all suspects. And we're only going out what you guys gave us.
Right.
So that's what we're
Mm-hmm.
going off of.
They can't tell us. They can't tell us that no one saw her. They can't tell us that.
Mm-mm.
Not only can they
Mm-mm.
not tell us that, they can't prove that. If
Mm-mm.
you say nobody saw it, all those people prove it. Prove it.
Exactly.
And they saved their best evidence against them for last on purpose was those crime scene photos. When we knew damn well she didn't have no drag marks, her pants weren't halfway down and
Mm-hmm.
her bra and all
Like,
that stuff. I was disappointed in Dr. Oz too, him trying to say, well, maybe because in hypothermia you get hot. Then don't you think she would have took off her jacket, not just expose her breasts and her butt?
Well, Dr. Oz is on some kind of board with
Yeah.
heart transplants and all that. So you can look at a person's eyes. My grandma
Mm-hmm.
always said the eyes is the window to the soul. And I don't care how many stuff he come up with, burning fat and all that. He look like the devil to me. I never did trust him, no way.
T Night is
No.
bless up T Night. T Night is down in here, and TK Fisher was here earlier showing her love. Bless up T Night. Hey, bro.
Hey y'all, J4K.
Okay.
The time is near.
The time is near. We're just getting it fired up. This chat is on fire tonight. We're just getting it fired up.
Mm-hmm. It's time to
And
shut it
okay,
down.
Fly is saying Andrew Holmes said the freezer was hot. Andrew Holmes. Now see if I see him, I'm gonna either say you either see now or you just lying.
Mm-hmm.
Because you said you saw video footage of her walking into the freezer. Now, when you saw video, if you said you saw video footage, now this is on the news. They got him as clear as day saying this.
Mm-hmm.
Was no accident. He said it as clear as day.
Mm-hmm.
If you saw some video footage of her walking to the freezer, where is it? And who else was in there with her?
Mm-hmm. And then he also said she was frantically opening doors, trying to open doors, and the
Where's
freezer
that
was
video
hot.
footage at?
So if
How
the
he know the
freezer was
freezer was
hot,
hot? How he know it was hot?
and my thing, so was the freezer, if it was hot, then that mean it was never
Was he
on then,
there?
right?
Did he put her in there?
Okay.
Right.
How he know?
He was trying to say suffocation.
Mm.
That's what he was trying to say.
How he know though? Was he
Yep,
there?
exactly.
Was he there when the incident occurred? Was he on the premises during the
Uh-uh.
time she was? Well, I don't want to hear anything he has to say.
Mm-mm.
I don't want to hear that.
Nope. And he sure disappeared after all that. Instead of trying to right his wrong or something, that's a guilty conscience. It's like Rosemont putting a restraining order on Mama T, that's a guilty conscience. Them
Yes, it
telling
is.
us that we were Black Lives Matter protesters protesting because they're not hiring enough Black people, that's a guilty conscience. Them trying to provoke us, that's a guilty conscience. Them trying to make them no new rules is a guilty conscience. We come there in peace. We ain't bothering nobody. You guys just don't want to be in the
Okay.
spotlight because you know you're wrong.
And the judges that approved the restraining order, uh, November is coming up. Make sure you vote these people out of office and vote some people in with some good sense.
Yes.
Vote them out. Vote somebody in with some good sense. And if you got
Mm-hmm.
somebody sitting around that does not have good sense, I suggest that you recall them and get them up out of there. Get somebody in that's going to be for the people.
Yep.
And if you don't see anybody in your area that's for the people, you go ahead, you start running. We'll help you. We'll donate money. I will.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm sure other people will donate money for your cause. You want to run for office, go ahead, do that. We need some good people with some good sense sitting in these seats.
Yep. It sure is too much crimes going on with no crimes being solved.
It really is. I really is. I try to post uh, good stuff to you, Gina. I think I was depressing you there for a minute because we can sit back here and I'm in my home and everybody else wherever they from, but you live in Chicago. You are
Mm-hmm.
there every day. You actually live there. You have family. You have kids, and anything that's changed is a big change for you and your family. And we want it to change because we love you guys, and it's a beautiful city, so many opportunities and stuff, and it just seems like it's bigger forces that's fighting against certain areas, and that's just not right. And so, like I said, we can just sit back and sit and talk and stuff, but you live there. You actually live there. I told Corinza one day, I just wish I could just grab all y'all up and live in a big old mansion and bring you home with me, but that's not it. That's your town. That's where you're from. And you just
Mm-hmm.
want changes.
Right. Can I
Yeah.
piggyback off that before you step back in, Gina?
Mm-hmm.
So, for people who live in different states that have been pontificating and lying about what they think and they thought happened in Illinois, you weren't there. You weren't there. You have no proof. You were not there. You were not in that state. You have
Yeah.
no proof. Just like the police could not prove she walked into that freezer. There's no proof. Most of these people haven't even been to the state.
Mm-hmm.
So for some people, I don't want to hear anything they have to say. I just don't want to hear it. Simple, plain and simple. I'm not going to entertain foolishness and these doggone lies, and they need to get some jobs. And yes, I said it. And some,
Mm-hmm.
now nobody in this chat that I see was offended by the video that was posted the other day, but I posted that for a very specific reason. A very specific reason. Very specific reason. People have been living in her name, making up stories in her name, reviews, and just to keep this going, they were never about justice. They self-seeking, self-centered. I think it's pathetic, but they need to know this. What you put out there is coming back to you. You sow the wind, now you get to reap a whirlwind. So years now or months now, when all this stuff start happening in your life and it seems like everything is falling apart and you wonder why this keep happening, thing after thing after thing, you got to reassess what you did
Hmm.
Mm-hmm.
because it's going to
God
come
teaches
back to you
hard lessons too.
like a boomerang. Now, this is not for the people in the chat. This is for the people who did the videos in case they stop by here. It's going to boomerang right back on you.
Hmm.
And it's going to keep boomeranging on you. And guess what? Because you had no mercy for this lady, you had no care, no mercy. Nobody's going to have any mercy for you when your day of trouble and turmoil happened for you because you didn't show mercy. No one's going to show any mercy for you.
Nope.
Just like
Not when truth and fact is slapping you in the face and you still going against it with all this mess
And
just to
then
try
for
to keep
the
some views because you ran out of damn content. That is
and then
pathetic.
yeah, what's really pathetic is for the male YouTuber that put his head peeping out the bathroom like he was in the motel at the hotel. I
Uh,
think that is so sick. I mean, why would you do that? This is not a joke. You got kids yourself. Now, why would you do that? If this had happened to your daughter or one of your kids, you wouldn't want nobody playing. It's nothing funny about any of this that these
how
people are
hard is it to
doing.
put yourself into somebody's shoes, man? Are you really
Okay,
that privileged? Are you really never suffered no kind of pain to have any kind of compassion? Something's wrong. You need to pray now before it's too late because the shift coming.
AM is
well,
right. AM just said, excuse me if I could piggyback, you're going to reap what you sow. That's
Yep.
right. They're going to reap what they sow. All them videos that they put up here. And I posted that video for specific people because, yeah, Gina was on a live, in a live with somebody, and
Mm-hmm.
some other people was in a live with somebody. And that particular person needs to go find some gainful employment and stop making up these doggone lies. And the
Mm-hmm.
video that they were showing didn't even make sense because the place that they said that they were inside of, they were not. They were showing a total different location. Stop with the
mm,
foolishness. That's what I'm
mm,
saying. You
Please.
want to be a content creator, be a content creator. If you need some help, just ask somebody. Come up with
exactly.
some
Seriously,
ideas
that's
where
all
you
it
can get
takes.
some real view. But don't sit up and do this right here because that's not cute.
And then to
This
sit
is
up and
somebody's
call,
life.
yeah,
This is
and
somebody's
somebody's
life.
mom.
Mm-hmm.
Because I know if
This
somebody
was
calling my
somebody's
mom
life.
all out of her name and stuff, I'm gonna be looking for you for real, for real.
This was somebody's life. She's no longer here. This was, and
Exactly.
it's downright disrespectful.
I mean,
Yeah.
a 19-year-old girl full of life, full of life.
Mm-hmm.
And I think I put something up on Facebook not too long ago. It would be 6 days. I wonder what Kanika was thinking. I knew she wasn't thinking like in 6 days that I'm gonna be found dead in a freezer. There's no way, no way. That's really, really sad. I
Thinking
just don't
about her
see.
new job, her mom
Yeah,
getting cancer.
I'm gonna say this
yeah.
for. Can I go back to the chat and defer to the chat?
Mhm.
Douglas is saying outsource, so they outsourcing hotel stuff outsource. See, he's saying female jogger, white, black dudes arriving. Can he come down the elevator? See, none of these people will question, which is
Mm-mm.
bizarre. And
Mhm.
OEM is saying about this. You laughing now while you doing all these bogus videos. I know what you're talking about on Mama T and Kanika, but you're gonna cry later.
Yep.
Mhm.
For the people who put this foolishness out here, you're gonna reap it. You laughing now, you think it's funny, it's all giggle, t. I can get my views up by making up these lies, and I know I'm a bald faced lie, and I know I'm a liar.
Mm-hmm.
You laughing
Mhm.
now, you think you're getting some money now, you think you're getting some views now, but it's gonna cost you later. You ain't doing nothing but digging a ditch for
That
yourself, and you're gonna
screams
fall straight
mental
into it.
instability, man. It tweaks me out. That's why I always say I can't go on YouTube too much because even in that chat, I done got sucked into the YouTube twilight zone.
Yeah, you'll get sucked
Download
in,
a link
Gina.
that ain't even in my state and all this extra stuff. Don't know me from a can of paint. Nothing makes sense. Don't know Mama T from a can of paint.
Mm-mm.
Nothing makes sense. She's the one that asked for help. Now she was there. What the hell would she need to ask for? It don't make no damn sense.
It
And if
don't.
you
It
really
don't.
about justice, you could really move on if you ran out of content because there's plenty of unsolved murders out here.
Mm-hmm.
There's
No, they
plenty of people that need justice.
yeah, they're going for the views. They're going for the
Mm-hmm.
views, and then they assume that um, some of us YouTubers are not new to this. We've been working on justice before we started YouTube channels.
Mm-hmm.
And when you go back and you look at uh, some of my videos that I put on private, it's going to be about justice,
Yeah.
plain and simple, plain and
Mm-hmm.
simple. And some people lost their way and got caught up in the hoopla. You started out for justice, and then you got caught up in some hoopla. Get yourself out the hoopla and stay on
Mm-hmm.
task, and don't blame your sub. I'm not for people blaming subs for going saying this and that, because it's a way that you can shut everything down when you get everybody in the room at one time. Like I used
Mm-hmm.
to do my students, you find out who telling the truth and who telling a lie when you sit with them in the room face to face, with everybody in
Mm-hmm.
the room face to face. Meet up with everybody, do a FaceTime, and you'll find out who telling the truth.
Mm-hmm. And everybody following them and supporting them too.
Let them
Y'all
follow
look
and support.
crazy.
I
Y'all
just
y'all
want
are
them.
looking ignorant. You can't even do your own research to realize what you just going with. What are you, part of a cult? Did somebody hypnotize you? What is wrong? Because nothing they say makes sense, or they don't have no receipts for it.
And Tyrone and Vanessa saying, yeah, Andrew Holmes, Tyrone was texting each other on the night. Andrew Holmes asked if his son is Ty, and Tyrone is and he's he's in jail.
Yeah, he is.
He's
I think he
in
got 5 years.
They got
Mm-hmm.
him.
And
They
then some
got.
people are saying that Lil Ty is dead too. I don't know if that's true or not, but some people been
I'm
saying
not
that.
going. I'm not going with anything I can confirm. I'm not going with no story nobody put out that
I
I
haven't
cannot.
heard that out here.
I don't want to go with that.
I haven't heard of that. I heard about many, but not
Meanwhile,
that many.
we should have been putting pressure and weight on the police to go back, and even though the FBI says it's so crucial that when things occur that you question them right then and there, because when you wait, they tend to forget things. That's why it was crucial for them to question everybody in the hotel. Lock that baby down. Nobody in, nobody out. Until everybody get questioned. We going up in some rooms too. Everybody come out your room. I'm getting ready to ask you. Question. You don't have to be questioned. I don't care if you
Mm-hmm.
want down there on the floor. You up in that hotel. So you getting questioned. You got a room with a window view that you can look out. You got a door with a little thing that you can look out. Nobody telling what you was seeing. So
Mm-hmm.
everybody should have been questioned.
They was all over the hotel. There's a group of guys that look like they never even went into any room. Like they were just in there. They're running all through the lobby. The same one that was running from around that corner Mama T came running around from after she seen Kanika, or if they told her after they told her that Kanika was passed.
Yeah, I know which one you're talking about. Yeah, that was very
I don't even
suspicious to
think he
me.
ever went to a room. He was just waiting in the hallways for
He
somebody.
was. He waited, and when the dude came, then they both took off running, and that was around two something.
Mm-hmm. It's a lot. It's a lot of people that say that they left, but we never see them leave.
And they lie about what time they left and who they left with.
Mm-hmm.
Right,
And for
right.
a birthday party at a hotel that didn't start until about 11:30. I mean, 3 o'clock's a little early to leave.
Hmm.
If they would even leave, it just don't make no sense to me. I know 30 people did not pack into one room.
Mm-mm.
Flyers, we don't see them all at the same place. There's always somebody missing or somebody. Why would Kanika have to text somebody if they were in the same room? It's a lot of stuff that ain't making no
Well,
sense.
Jenny, We Trust
We don't
TV.
have all the lines either.
He
Can I
basically
piggyback
proved.
real quick? Can I
Uh huh.
piggyback real quick before you say something, Miss Lisa?
Mhm.
We don't have everybody live that was in that room from that night.
No.
We don't
Mm-mm.
have everybody live. Some people didn't even post their stuff. We
Mm-mm.
don't
Mm-mm.
have everybody live from that night
You
from
could see a lot of
Snapchat,
flashing, so a lot of pictures
Facebook,
being
from
taken.
Instagram. We don't have
Hmm.
everybody information. We really
Yeah.
don't.
And
We
the
never
main
have
thing,
all everybody information.
and
So
the
we
main thing that
really
stood
don't
out
have a
to.
full view. So I'm not going to
Mm-mm.
form an opinion on
Mm-mm.
what occurred inside that room, now, other than I think somebody may have slipped something in her drink. Now I did say that. Can I prove
Yeah.
Hmm.
that?
Mm-hmm. And my thing is too, Karenza, Kanika was very when anything was going on, she would take selfies and stuff. That would seem odd to me that the limited amount of pictures of Kanika that was very odd to me from the beginning. Very
Okay,
odd.
now I'm gonna have to hit the cops on the pictures. Secondary validity. They moved her body, so you messing up right there. Already
Hmm.
off the jump. Uh, Moving her body
Emptied her pockets.
and and if you go back, if you all go back and you view um, some of the recent uploads again on Rosemont website pertaining to the Kanika Jenkins investigation, you will clearly see in that picture in the freezer, they have moved her body. Not only
Hmm.
have they moved her body, they have no exhibits down. Not only do they not have any exhibits down, I don't see the lip gloss that was in the doorway there in that particular picture.
Hmm.
So
And then in
they
some of the pictures,
went
there was
real
ice
into it.
cubes, and some of them there wasn't no ice cubes.
Exactly.
And
And then
the
this one that
pictures,
they just
according to
did,
them, are about a minute apart, so they were real quick pictures. So I don't think it had time to melt some ice.
and this picture that they now this one that they just showed where they propped her up and they moved her and they messed with the lividity in her body. Uh, no pathologist is there during this time um, to collect any evidence before the police come in and start moving stuff around. Um, I don't see any of that stuff that they have in some of the other pictures. So
Mm-mm.
just things that make you go,
Yeah.
And then too, in the autopsy report, they, like Carissa said, they
it
mentioned the
takes out.
swelling and the lung. Then they didn't say no bruising and none of that, and we clearly see that's a lie. That's a lie.
Hmm. And in all those pictures, and already moving the body, so they might as well move the hair so we could see her neck. See if
Exactly.
anything was there. Why are they hiding her neck like that?
Exactly.
They just got too much going on, even with the bruise that's on her brassiere area
Mm-hmm.
down in didactic. Retracted that information, which is a clear edit. Uh, with the bruises there, explain why and how the rest of these bruises got. They never explained why she was bruised either.
Mm-mm.
So, um,
They can't
like
even
I
And
tell us
said,
exactly what
yeah,
happened to her foot.
and then
mm,
when they opened her mouth, couldn't they see that her teeth was cracked and missing? Couldn't they see that when they
Mm-hmm.
examined her body?
I
How can
could.
you just? I mean, why would you just say, how could unless you covering up something? Why would you lie? I mean, you could just go say, okay, she has bruising here, the teeth is here, you know, but then not you. It's like there's nothing there, and it's clear it is.
How about this? How about if since they didn't know what they were doing, they should have consulted somebody else who did.
Exactly.
If you can't, let the big boys come in and handle it.
Mm-hmm. Because
Because
So,
in my
that.
field of technology, if it gets too heavy for me or if I'm uncertain about anything, I
Mhm.
go to the people who've been doing this forever, 30 plus years.
Yep. Especially
so,
if you just can't prove it, you need somebody bigger to come in.
so, is it safe to say that this is the first crime scene that they'd ever handled, or they just were just
Mhm.
didn't know what to do, or just did not do it?
This is probably the first one that was recorded for the world to see what kind of mess is going on out there.
And
Hmm.
then the talking head that they had come out.
uh, Even Kanika's sister, Leonore, she got the chief of police in the beginning because she asked them if they're supposed to, touch her or get her take her property off or any of that and give it to her mom. He said no, and then she said, well, they gave her belly button ring and this and that, and then he was like, oh well, certain things. No, you guys weren't supposed to touch that. You guys were supposed to
Mm-mm.
fingerprint it, get DNA off of it, do all that.
And then if they could read the accident, why hadn't they gave Mama T her clothes back?
Why they only give her certain property? Cause that's where I've had a family member of mine that passed away and he had blood and throw up on his shirt and they even gave that back.
Right. Right. The
Mm.
police were tampering with evidence. I'm in the chat. The chat is fire. The police
Hmm.
were tampering with evidence. And yes, I am reading the chat.
Let them know,
Yeah.
chat.
All them kids in the room and Fly is saying all them kids in the room and only two went live. Yeah, right. Nobody
Hmm.
believes that. You know, everybody was live, especially this young generation.
And why didn't they retrieve the deleted stuff that Monifa had in her phone?
Hmm.
They should have, but they should have went through everybody who was an employee at the hotel and got their phones too.
Hmm.
There should not
Everybody.
have been
Why
incident.
only certain ones? Why was it only certain people that they were focused on? And why is there only certain questions like
Excuse me,
for
yeah.
I think one of the security guards or another worker, they asked him if his brother was dating Kanika. They asked
Yeah,
him if he was
yeah.
at the party. What the heck? Where are those questions? Why are you guys asking those questions? There's got to be a reason y'all was asking those questions. Did you see him with her or what? Because I sure
Okay,
wasn't asking
so
anybody
Vanessa
else.
is asking this question, and we all can answer this, but I'm gonna let Gina go first. But I just want to know, and no, Vanessa, I'm not going to block you. You've not been belligerent or anything. It's certain people that I know who they are, and when they show up, I'm gonna let Gina say what she needs to say to them. Miss Lily gonna say something. I'm gonna say something. Then after
Mm-hmm.
that, they can be blocked. But this is from an incident that recently occurred, and they know what I'm talking about.
Mm-hmm.
But everybody in here so far is good. Um, okay, so Vanessa is saying, but I just want to ask a question, so please don't block me. Why did Teresa say nobody did nothing to Kanika, and that was Kanika walking in the hallways, looking at the videos, was not Kanika. Well, Vanessa, I'm going to answer that right from the beginning. That was Kanika. And the thing about the hallways is this: when you're dealing with different technology, you have to factor in um, everybody's different electronics. You have to factor in their hardware. You have to factor in the way data is captured, and that's my specialty in forensics. You have to factor in compression. Keep in mind that this was data capture was happening in real time, and what happens when you're using voice internet protocol surveillance system is that that video, the media is capturing those pixels, those points. A pixel is a point, is points. So the area is being captured. All of that gets compressed and fed back through the media to the electronic device. And so when everybody's viewing these pictures, they're viewing it from their own electronic device, and it looks um, it looks messed up, distorted, which is understandable, and also some things that they did from the hotel side when they did the edits, and some things that Target Forensic did when they did the edits. See, because you're going through all these hands, and so they have distorted, and that's why I say I would love to just go in and clean everybody clock when it comes to technology from a computer forensic perspective in this case. Um, when it comes to not having the raw data, the pure, unedited form of pictures available to view, if that makes sense. So you have all this video footage that then went through all these hands, and they didn't did they edits, and they didn't been through their electronic device, their hardware, and you have to factor all that stuff in. And so you don't get a good um you're just not getting a quality image to the degree that it should be. Now I'm gonna let Gina or Miss Letha answer the question as to why did Mama T say nobody did anything to her and it was just accident. I believe she was being extremely facetious and cynical and sarcastic, because
Yeah.
I team from time to time I do that myself. But go ahead.
And I believe this is what I believe. We don't know what footage they showed Mama T. It
Right.
could have been all pictures of Kanika. We don't know what she saw. And then from a post that she put up after it was discovered that her teeth was knocked out, she came out on Facebook and she said
Mm-hmm.
she didn't know her baby's teeth was missing so and so until she found out the same time we did. So she didn't know. She, do you remember they wouldn't let her see her baby? First of all, they weren't gonna let her see her. They wouldn't
And
let
the
her see her.
36 hours didn't get delivered to her. I seen the 36 hours of footage before she did. I'm the one that showed her
But the
some of that
question,
36-hour footage.
but can we go back to what she said?
Yeah.
Why
When
did
she's talking about two different occasions. And the first one was when Mama T was in the parking lot and she went live and said, "No, guys, nobody did nothing to my daughter. It's okay." And that's at a time where she just told her she lost her daughter. Was told if she was to um show emotion, too much emotion, or make too much noise, threatening to arrest her. So she went out calmly. And anybody that knew her knows she's being sarcastic. Everybody already knew Kanika did not walk into no freezer and die.
pause back?
Everybody knew. It
Can
was
we pause
all
for a moment there, Gina?
sarcasm.
Because you told me something that I didn't know. So let's
Hmm.
go back and put this on perspective. I want you to go back and say what you said so we can clear this up tonight and shut all the rest of that foolishness down. Go back. Excuse me for interrupting, but I really need people to hear this and understand this in this context so they can
Hmm.
shut their lips from yapping, even though some people won't shut their lips from yapping until something happened to them. All right, but I'm
Hmm.
going to let the Lord do what he do. Uh, Go ahead.
After she was told that Kanika had passed and she ran out like that, she was told she needed to calm down. She needed to not show too much emotion. What they was worried about was getting guests involved in what happened. And maybe some other kids, "Oh, I seen your daughter." They didn't want no guests to come out. They didn't want no ruckus. Was threatening to arrest her if she were to get too emotional. So emotional that her daughter just died on their damn property.
Mm.
They were
So
threatening her.
I'm gonna stop right there, and then I'm gonna let you finish. So
Hmm.
when people are talking about, oh, she said, oh no, they nothing happen. So your daughter just was found in the hotel, and you've been asking about her, and they talking about she wasn't in there with no video footage. The police didn't get up off they behinds
Hmm.
promptly when she called the first time. Go see nothing. So after she just found out that she passed, the police tell her she's going to be arrested if she shows too much emotion and disturbs the guests at the hotel. See, mm,
And
wow.
then y'all got to realize too.
That put a perspective on it. But let's go back to Gina so she can finish this up. Miss
Let me
Lisa.
just say
Then
this before
we'll
you
let you
tell it.
go.
Go
You
ahead.
got to remember the Mama T was suffering from surgery. She has cancer, and all this guy, she's in shock. She done lost her daughter. So, how would you be?
Yeah.
But nobody's been threatened
Mm-hmm.
in YouTube. Your child just died, and they come and tell you if you interrupt the guest at the hotel, you make too much noise. We just need you to calm down and hush. Your child has just been found, and if you show too much emotion, we're going to arrest you.
Yeah.
I'd have cussed their ass out though, for real though. I had to
Yeah.
cuss them out. Yeah,
I,
for real.
I
I'm just gonna
imagine.
say, what a lot of people are saying. I'd have been in jail.
Yep. Yep. And she held it together because she knows she's the one that's got to fight. She knows she
Exactly.
couldn't do no good from that jail, so she couldn't push. No, nobody would probably move on without her word. She somehow
Exactly.
after you see her running out that hotel, hysterical. She says she went out and she fell to her knees and she just started praying, God, I don't think I could take this one. God, I'm gonna need some help. And she prayed for people like us to come out and help her. And look at, besides Rosemont treating her like a suspect, look what
I'm
we the
gonna answer.
people did.
I'm gonna get this one, Vanessa. Let me cut back in because
Mhm.
Vanessa's asking another question. And yes, Vanessa, we know Ty had warrants and this and that, but the fact of the matter is still this: they made sure that they was getting people or possible suspects from that hotel. Meanwhile, we don't have anybody from the hotel staff being arrested, suspended, or anything else. So,
Mm-hmm. Yep.
and it happened on their property. Negligence
Mm-hmm.
and liability. We don't have them taking a hit for nothing, which is
And that was
crazy.
something everybody agreed on was a
Which is
negligence.
crazy. Which is crazy. And
Mm-hmm.
we don't have the vital video footage that we need of them substantiating the claim that she walked into that freezer. We don't have that. But let me go back here. Um, hey Jay, how are you? Okay. So, well, why did the investigators say Teresa refused to give them Kanika phone? Let me say this about the investigators. Excuse me, you're the investigator, which means in your warrant, which should have been an
Mm-hmm.
all-inclusive warrant, it was your job to go in and get all the evidence. No one had to give you anything. They were there and they had everything in their possession
Mm-hmm.
before she could even get anything. That was their job to do. That was their job to do. I wouldn't have gave her my child phone either. You know why? Because legally, they would have had to get a warrant and issue me a warrant to get my child's phone. That's what they would have had to do. That's the law. That's what
Uh-huh.
they gave it up, but I would have made them get a warrant. I would have said,
Yeah,
guess what?
especially when they're treating you like a
Serve me
suspect,
with a
didn't seem to
warrant.
want to help at all.
Serve me with a
It,
warrant. If you don't serve me with a warrant, you're not getting anything from me. Period.
mm-hmm. Yeah, especially when you didn't want to do your job from jump and it doesn't look like you know what you're doing. Why the hell would anybody want to give you a phone so you could lose it or something?
Okay,
Who knows
Robin
with
is.
those
Can I
people?
can I go here? Can anyone confirm this? Robin is saying she thought the manager got fired. I don't know nobody got fired because
I don't think
they've been
so.
all on that.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think
They've been
so.
all on it, maybe relocated, but according to my knowledge, no one has been fired. They probably relocated them to another area, but no one's been
Mm-hmm.
terminated that I
Or
know.
sent them back to their country so they wouldn't say nothing. Something like that.
Jay is saying he loves you, Gina.
Love you too, Jay. We about to shut it down. You ready? I know he is.
Right, Miss Fly. She should be on in that hotel. She should be on the Rosemont. Okay, so I'm gonna go back to Vanessa. So suppose all of these allegations is true, which I believe they're after the protest. What do you guys want to accomplish? Okay. Um After the protest, I can tell you myself, and I'll let Gina and them speak. We're bringing awareness. That's what the protest is for. And it's also to resist and push back. That's what a protest is to resist somebody and push back. Okay, so we're resisting false narratives and we're pushing back against the foolishness that they put out here into this atmosphere and cause chaos and confusion. I would like there to be a new investigation with new investigators and the case reopened. The case reopened with new investigators. quite naturally, we would like, well, I would like the body to be exhumed and re-examined from some of the top forensic pathologists in the world. So they can go back and get the stuff that the medical examiner's office now are not smart enough to get. And I said it. Next person.
Well, I'm pushing to put pressure on them until their pipes burst. They don't like us out there. They don't like being under the spotlight because they have an open investigation with trafficking body parts and stuff. They're already in enough trouble. They don't want this attention. There's a couple more people that died in Rosemont.
Okay, so when we talk about you said the traffic, we're talking about the city of Rosemont now.
Yes, they need to be investigated. They've been caught up in so many things, so many crimes been done there, and they're either calling them suicides or you hear about a story and never hear about it again. And they're all a family. They already got an open investigation, so this should have had the FBI looking closer at them.
Okay, so she just told us something. She told me something that I had no knowledge of. The city of Rosemont already has an open investigation, so they're already being investigated for some other things.
Trafficking body parts between them and Detroit. The Biological Resource Center got raided. Some of the body parts had AIDS, HIV. Some people's family members got found during that raid when their family members were supposed to be cremated. So they don't even know if they have their family members' ashes. And the person in Detroit is pretty much putting it on Rosemont saying, you know, they didn't let me know these body parts had HIV and blah, blah, blah. So they're in enough trouble. They're in a lot of trouble. It looks like Detroit's turning on them because the heat got hot.
And Detroit got some excellent attorneys, by the way, too. Let me go back and...
Okay, and to me, the purpose of this...
In order for the FBI to pick up the case, it needs to be proven that the Rosemont police didn't do their job. In order for the FBI to pick up this case, the Attorney General could have, with herself, and she on her way out in November. I'm not trying to be funny for her because she did some things pretty decent in the state of Illinois, and I don't live there. I'm just going off what's on paper and the trail that she left. But the Attorney General could have usurped their authority and had this case reopened. That's what the Attorney General in your state is the highest law enforcement in your state. And to me, she should have said, I'm getting ready to take y'all to court, and I'm snatching this straight out your hands and hit them with everything that she could have hit them with. And like, guess what? Case gonna be reopened. You won't be handling this. You won't be handling it. And they could have took her to court. So what? Take me to court. Like I said before, take me to court. You just won't be investigated. Too corrupt. What I'm gonna trust you for.
And Carranza, could you talk about the signatures too in the petition that people can go sign?
Right. And then there's a petition out. I need to go and check the update because we get so many signatures. And then it goes to Justice Department so the case can be reopened. I need to see where we are at in terms of signatures. And that was started by Lamont Record. Is that his name? That one that he has out, you can also, if you have not signed the petition to get the case reopened, make sure you sign the petition to get the case reopened and share it.
Yes.
Yeah, you can post it online, Queen Sugar, if you're talking about the petition to get the case reopened. Most of us got it posted. Share it. Also, we can vote. November is coming up. Let's vote these. If you live in the state of Illinois and you happen to watch this, if you live in any state, it's time to vote the foolishness out and vote people who have your best interests and are for people in. It's people over profits, people over big business. At the end of the day, it has to be about people. Money is not the root of all evil, but the love of money is. And you have a lot of big businesses loving their money more than they value and love the life of people. So make sure that you are voting people into these off. Make sure you're voting. That's number one, because people died for it. Blood is shit. Innocent blood got shed in the ground for us to have rights to vote. So make sure you do vote, because voting is a part of your voice. And like I said, if you don't like the choices out there, you run for something. We will support you. Also, these attorney generals, these prosecuting attorneys, from the judges that sit on the bench, because judges be bought and paid for, they throw a lot of cases. Um, Make sure you're voting somebody in with integrity. And once you vote for these people, don't just be like, okay, I've done my job, that's it. I think one of the main things that this case does for me, and it should be doing for everybody, is reminding us that you have to follow up. You have to follow up. You can't
Mhm.
say, oh, I did this, that's it. No, you have to follow up. You have to follow up. That's just like, if I can use this example, you potty training a child, you didn't show them how to go to the potty one time, and that's it. You think they're supposed to get it. No, you have to consistently stay in a state of going back, showing them how to do it over and over and over again, and following up with them. We have got to follow up with these people, and we've got to follow up.
Yeah. Like we following up with this march, let them know we're still here. We still
Gary
want
said,
answers. There's a
Gary
lot of
said the state of Illinois should not handle this case, period.
it. I
A
agree.
lot of people, a lot of people are feeling that way. Like,
Yes. Yes, when it comes to the system out here, just throw the whole thing away and start over. That's what it seems like needs to happen.
What it's actually showing is that these people have been doing this for a long, 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 long time. That
they
whatever
have,
they got going on, this has been going
they have.
on. And when this happened to Kanika, I think it will expose a whole lot of stuff. And that may be another
Mm-hmm.
reason why they're covering up, not for the kids, they're covering up for themselves because
They
we don't know.
racketeering. They
Yeah,
racketeering down up in
yeah,
there.
yeah.
Now, can I prove that they're racketeering? No, but I believe that they're racketeering like a big dog in the city of Rosemont. I
Yeah.
really do. I believe that they're racketeering like a big dog in that city.
Mm-hmm. They pretty much rubbed it in our face.
Yeah, they really did.
Them still
But
messing with the files and stuff, just agitating even more. Why, if it's closed, don't touch it.
but Jenny, you got to remember too that they wasn't even gonna release the freedom the footage and stuff. I think it was Chicago Tribune sued
Yeah,
them
we
for
all
them to
found
release
out that
that.
Freedom of Information Act.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
They
Rosemont
didn't want to
has
show us
a, if
nothing.
I could piggyback off that, Rosemont, the city of Rosemont have an issue with people having access to information due to the Freedom of Information Act. They did not want to relinquish anything pertaining to this case, and it was the Chicago Tribune that did submit that paperwork to get what we have out here to the public released.
Mm-hmm.
But this is not the first time that the city of Rosemont have had issues with relinquishing and making information free to the public that they want to kind of stand against and not relinquish information.
What about the body cams, Corinne? Is the time up? They got to have their body cams yet?
Um, they gave them, they should have them by the end of this year.
Okay.
Rosemont, they should have the body cams on. They gave them so much time to get in compliance. So this is the year that the city of Rosemont Police Department need to comply with wearing the body cams, because it would have been real nice if we could have gotten their videos from the body cams that they should have had on when they was going into the hotel. That would have been nice.
Mm-hmm. Should have had a video of them moving her around and all that stuff. Make sure we actually seen her in the right position. We don't even know which one was the first way she was laying. I mean, they moved the body around.
No, they moved the body. That's why I say lividity, secondary lividity. They
Mm-hmm.
moved her too much.
Dug in her pockets. Took some of the burnt trash bag or whatever that was out, cleaned up a little bit, took some more pictures. I mean, come on, man. And that lady employee, her name is on the paper that shows people that were in the crime scene. She was in there. What the hell was she doing in there?
Exactly.
And she's the only one that don't have a reason for being there. So many people, but when Mama T went down there, she couldn't get near the body. It was a big time crime scene. She couldn't mess with nothing.
Okay,
they already
Gina, this question is for you. If I can cut in very quick.
Mm-hmm.
I'm getting feedback. Somebody is asking, have you reached out to the pastor who led the march in Chicago last week or the weeks ago?
Pastor Fletcher. I haven't personally. One of my J4K sisters, she knows him. She's supposed to reach out to him. And yes, having him there would be amazing. He is awesome.
Okay, she said one of her J4K sisters were responsible for reaching out to him to answer that question. Okay, I just posted the link to get the case reopened inside the chat. So if you have not signed it, make sure you sign the petition. If you have signed it, make sure you share with those who have not.
My thing is too, talking about a petition. As much as these YouTubers dig in stuff and go all the way through all this other stuff, they should be pushing that. Okay, y'all, we got this many signatures. We need this many more. If you're really true J4K and you really seeking justice and you don't want the clout and the big head and all that, then every YouTuber should have that on there. Okay, we got so many petitions. Be pushing that, pushing that.
Mm-hmm.
Because what
something
they
to
usually
actually
do,
help.
they get
Yes.
right, something that actually help. What they do from a legal perspective, if they get if they get a whole bunch of different petitions that pertain to the same thing, what they'll do is they'll consolidate it into one big petition and take those signatures, just like they do with other court cases. If they get class action suits and a whole bunch of different class action suits coming from different individuals about the same thing, what they usually do is consolidate to one big one. So I know this one is out there. I don't know if there's any others out there, but if it is, like, and they start it, they'll consolidate it. No problem, Queen Sugar. Oh, thank you, Catherine. I'm so grateful for you ladies. I signed a long time ago. Thank you, Catherine. Share with somebody who may not have signed. Share.
I
Because one thing
appreciate
about it,
everybody.
Mike Brown is saying something. Let me see this. Bingo. Check the connections with the hotel, the casino, Rosemont. Right. And Rosemont FBI. Right, Mike Brown. The chat has been absolutely fired up tonight. Thank you so much, everybody who is here participating in this live stream.
how
Greatly
many chat?
appreciated.
How many people in the chat going? Corinne, ask them.
Okay, so if you are going to the state of Illinois this weekend, if you're going to be there, drop a Y in the chat for yes. If you are going to participate in the 1 year anniversary pertaining to Tamika Jenkins, J4K, getting this case reopened, drop a Y in the chat.
Ooh, I'm ready.
Okay, Queen
Come
Sugar is
on.
going. Yes, thank you.
Yes, Queen. We shut you down. Oh,
And
I
then
can't
too,
wait.
Corinne
Again,
was saying,
drop a Y in the chat if you are participating in the state of Illinois. I know that Ethic Radio um, is a lot going on in California. He won't be there, but for the Crown Plazas that's in the state of California, he will be. They will be at a Crown Plaza that's in the state of California on that day. So some people are just going to go ahead and protest at um, Crown Plazas in their state,
Yes.
And I think they
which is
also
why
own the Holiday Inns also, I think. Holiday Inns in the southern
is it the
states.
Holiday Inn or is it the Marriott?
The, both, I think.
I'm not sure. I thought it was Marriott. I'm not sure about the Holiday Inn, but I'll check that out. That's right. Shut it down.
So basically what we're saying is
Oh,
that,
Queen Sugar says she's already there.
Oh,
okay, hey
hey.
Queen, hey.
We are Kanika.
We
Okay, Catherine.
Yeah.
Catherine's in Alaska. Oh, you're in Alaska, right? Alaska probably does not have a Crown Plaza, but you can always post a video um, for Mama T. Send a card, send a nice letter. Thank you, Catherine. Queen Sugar says she hiding right now. I ain't mad at you. Sometimes you just gotta slide in and live like a spy.
That's right.
Check
Mhm.
That's
stuff out.
right.
Don't nobody know you there. Just slide
Moving
in.
silence.
Don't say
Moving
nothing.
silence.
Slide in, scope out the area.
I do that sometimes when I'm walking from the bus or something. I'll throw my hoodie up and stuff and just look down until I get there and then start yelling as soon as I get with everybody else.
Right, Queen Sugar, they are threatening. And okay, Perry is saying the International Hotel Group. Yep, that's who they are on the Crown
Okay.
Plaza up under. I guess that's the parent company. Okay. Um, Queen Sugar, you're right. A lot of people have been threatened, and I don't know why. If you're J4K, you're sending threats to anyone. Um, it's enough to contend with the police and the uppity judges and attorneys, and really the uppity and persnickety acting police officers who are quite pompous at times.
Yeah.
So your mind really need to be focused on some type of mental toughness to deal with them instead of wasting a lot of energy over in another arena. And like I said, that video that I posted for this one was for a very specific reason for some very specific people. And when they roll up on there, they'll know it's them. And it was pertaining to an incident that recently occurred. And I meant what I said. So
And that was a darn good video, and your nephew snapped
I meant exactly what I said.
It,
clean.
it seemed like he made that uh
Yeah.
just for that
Clean.
moment, and I'm pretty sure he'd been and made it or composed it, but it was right on time.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, he made that for a reason.
Yes. He's got skills.
Okay.
I love that because this ain't no time other than right now to all come together to put an end to some of this madness. Of course, they ain't gonna take us seriously when they see us all fighting, putting this petty stuff on, and staying divided. How could we ever beat somebody bigger? We're bigger
Exactly.
when we're together. We're a lot bigger when we're together.
That's
Mhm.
right.
It's time to bully these bullies. They want to
And my
bully Mama
thing
T
is,
because she was by herself. They didn't know the world was coming.
let me answer that lady's questions too. She said, "What was the purpose and what did we expect to get out of this?" The purpose is to keep
Queen,
Kanika name
can
alive.
can I ask this question? Queen Sugar drop what link? What link are you talking about? The video we were just talking about? Oh, thank you, Perry. I really appreciate that. Thank you, Perry. Um, because Perry, in my videos, I want people to know the law. I want them to be able to stand there when the if you were to stand against the attorney general, if you were to stand with the police officer, if you had to stand in the presence of anybody, I want people to be able to stand there and talk language, the
Hmm.
proper lingo. I don't want them to sit there and say, well, that's an edit. Okay, you can say it's been edited, but how can you prove from a forensic perspective that it's been edited? What can you, somebody's got feedback in their background. Okay, I think that was Gina. Okay, what, how can you prove it? I want people to say, well, the police did not acquire the IP surveillance unit. Not only did the police not acquire it, the police cannot speak to the authenticity or the data integrity from the footage that they do have because they did not retrieve it, nor did they send any specialized forensic team in to collect it that can verify such. I want them to be able to say there is no bit by bit copy of the original hard drive from the IP surveillance unit available to us. We have no knowledge of that. Um, I just want them to be able to stand there and say, well, in some video footage, timestamps were not synchronized. This is the type of language you talk when you go into American courts. You could be right on saying it's an edit. Well, how are you going to prove it from a scientific perspective and a mathematical perspective? How are you going to prove that this is an edit? I want people to be able to, like just verbatim, be able to say this, and this, and this is why. This is why I'm saying what I'm saying. Because when you start telling the police, you didn't retrieve that data. You can't speak to the authenticity or integrity of the data. Timestamps aren't synchronized. They'll pay attention because they're used to hearing that in court. Now you're talking a language. So I really want people to be as educated as possible.
Oh, then okay. Let me finish saying what I was. Now the purpose is to me is the purpose of the protests and everything that we're doing. That's considered.
Say it again.
Okay, the purpose of the protest to me is to keep it alive in the media, in people's mind, in the world that this was wrong and that it wasn't an accident, and we're not going to ever forget it. I mean, it may take 2, 3, 4 years or longer to get justice, but every year, to me, and I'm pretty sure to Gina and to Corinza and AM, every year coming up in September, we're going to go to Crown Plaza. And every year we go is going to be more and more and more people because this year people probably weren't prepared. But soon as, in my opinion, I think soon as this protest is over, we need to start preparing for the next one. We need to start preparing for the next one. Yeah, start preparing.
And I'll be out there the months in between. I ain't waiting no year.
Yes, she does. Exactly. That's how you do for politics. That's how you do for anything. That's how you do. That's a part of planning.
Mm-hmm. Yes, because there's a lot of Purple Hearts still out there. I know they got to know or they wouldn't still be trying to cover their tracks.
Yeah, Perry. Yes, Perry. If I can interject really quick, I was speaking on servers because, I did trace it back to the servers at the Crown Plaza hotels, which are static servers, which means employees can have remote access to the resources on that site or on site. So so you have networks and then you have the sub networks. So they did a sub network, which is part of a larger network. So yes, I'm running all this stuff back. So yeah, that's what forensics is.
And Corinza, could you explain why you're talking about that? I saw your last video when you said that wiretapping was illegal and that Crown Plaza have sound wave videos or something.
Yeah, I'm gonna explain a little bit about that. When she was talking about the sound. Now, you can wiretapping to tap somebody's system is illegal. And yes, sound is a part of data capture. Sound is always a part of a data capture. Um, However, in regards to the Crown Plaza Hotel, that would be considered a form of wiretapping if they had. Now, who's to say that they didn't have them enabled? But if they were to put out the conversations that were had, because you have employees and different people working there and guests, and they were not aware of it, or they were aware of it. It didn't even make a difference. That's wiretapping. You can't. You're not supposed to legally uh, just have that activated like that to pick up sound on video surveillance footage in entities like that, in places like that, like hotels and stuff like that, because that's considered wiretapping. That's considered you eavesdropping on someone else's conversation. That's considered you tapping into that person's conversation that they're having. So they can't do that. And I'm not saying that they don't have any sound available. They just didn't have it available in this video footage. And if they do have it available, they could be held liable for eavesdropping, wiretapping. Yeah, employees can turn around and sue them for that. Violation of their privacy.
I mean, going back to being off the wall, I was just thinking
Thanks,
they never
Catherine. Thanks, Catherine. I want to say thanks, Catherine.
they never did ask that employee why he didn't want to talk in his statement. Why he didn't want to talk in front of the man and his manager. Was it the beverage manager? What manager was it? To me, I want to know, well, why? Well, were you uncomfortable or anything he's done in the past? I would want to know why he didn't want to talk to, the police in front of the manager. I would like to know that.
I just want to see some of these people face to face.
Mm-hmm.
Look at them eye to eye. Now, are there any other questions for Miss Gina while we're up here? Because we're going to conclude. Hey, Amp. Hey, Chat. You're good, Amp. I know you was at work. How are you, Amp? Are there any other questions for Gina pertaining to the protest that's coming up, or anything that you don't have a resolve about pertaining to this case that she probably could answer to the best of her ability?
I want to ask you something, Gina. Okay, like
Mm-hmm.
during the protest, okay, we're allowed to be on the sidewalks, not in the roads. So if it's a whole lot of us, how will we do it?
Okay, I can answer that. And
Okay.
Okay.
let me answer that, because from a federal perspective,
Mhm.
the street is public,
Mhm.
the sidewalks are public, parks are public,
Mhm.
unless they specify private, bought out, purchased by somebody for their own. But the street is public. The street is
Mm-hmm.
public. Sidewalk is public. That's public.
Yeah.
Okay.
So they can't
So
stop you from being in the street.
so let's load it
Unless
up.
you're blocking. If you start blocking traffic
Mm-hmm.
from going through, then it's going to get into civil disobedience, which may be necessary. So
Mm-hmm. And you remember when there was at
you
least
just can't
1,000
block.
of us out there, we sure did take over the streets too.
You can't block walkways and stuff like that, because then that goes into civil disobedience. But at times, civil
Yeah.
disobedience
So what
is
we do
necessary.
is we just keep moving. We keep moving past them, not blocking it, just marching past. All of us walking
Okay.
along.
Miss Catherine, you're asking, same Miss Gina, who had petition on her page. Miss Catherine, I dropped the link to the petition. I will drop it again. I will post it again to get the case reopened. So, Miss Catherine, I just dropped the link again to get the case reopened. And it is also in some of my videos. It's linked in there. Um, so, are there any other questions for Gina or anyone else before we wrap up and conclude? Okay, Karen, one question. With the petitions, yours and Ethics, where they combine petition together. I think Ethic has the same petition that I have that came from the Mon record. It's the same one. Miss Catherine said, "Bless your heart, Gina, for all your hard work." Yes, Miss Gina Kidd.
Thank
I'm
you.
typing
Thank
an
you so
L in the
much.
chat for love.
Yeah, shout
Love
out,
you
Gina.
so much.
Mhm.
Thank you. Thank you.
United we stand, y'all.
So
United we stand. It's a lot of day oneers out there that's been pushing this, won't let Kanika's name down, won't let Rosemont rest. That's what I'm talking about.
yeah,
It's plenty of me. Thank y'all for the support and motivation through all these trolls, all this negativity and everything. Us as a team all pull through it. There's all time. We all have our times where we gotta take a week off the internet or something, just get our minds back right. And all that. We do what it needs to do. We always support each other. Like I said, this is a year later. We're a family now. Now it's
You're
time to
right.
make the real moves.
That's
We trust
right.
each other. We already know what the frauds look like. We know what cloud chasers look like. We know what all that looks like. And we know what unity looks like. And that's where we start making some changes. God's got it. He just needs a little help, and we got that.
right. God do got it, but He need us to do our part because we down here on this earth. He not. So
Mm-hmm.
we be the hands, we be the feet, we be the voices,
Yes.
we be the justice on demand.
Mm-hmm. And there's a
So if
couple J4K supporters we done lost through this year. OTE head, he was one of the first ones that would always post about Kanika, post his
Yes.
live, all
Yes.
that stuff. J Money Breed,
that's
her
good. That's
uncle.
good. Amp. I gotta. I said, was there any questions before we close out? But Amp is saying, thanks, Amp. This is right up my alley. Okay, question for anyone. I recently contacted a friend of mine who's in the legal profession. He suggested contacting the U.S. Attorney General's office in Illinois for a meeting to push for an inquiry into the Rosemont Police Department. And wonderful. Now, I wanted to do that like yesterday, but I also understand this. Uh, with the U.S. State Attorney's Office, and I'm going to say he's talking about the Attorney General's office in Illinois, a new Attorney General and new body of people are going to be elected. That's why I say the letters and stuff start all over again. And with that person, that new person that gets voted in, then we can push and force some meetings with that person. We can start strategizing that. And he's asking, is that something that you would agree to? I agree to it, but Gina, you're there, and I know
I
you
agree
down.
to it as well.
She agreed to it as well,
Everything we could do. And if this new one gets all these letters, don't want to pay attention to it, they got to get out too. We
right?
ain't having this no more.
Right,
And
right.
then
We're
when
not
these
having it
people
no more.
are, do they campaign in the neighborhood or anything? They start campaigning. You tell them, look, what are you gonna do about the Kanika Jenkins case? What are the injustice on that? Ask them. You know,
Mm-hmm.
make
Yeah.
them talk about it. Make them talk about it by you asking
Make them talk
questions.
about it.
Yeah.
Make them talk about it.
What do you think about the 19-year-old girl that was found in the freezer? What are you gonna do about that? Put
Right.
some
And what are you
pressure
going
on
to do to
that.
hold it? That's right. What are you going to do to hold big businesses responsible? Because when it first happened, some people in the state of Illinois were talking about coming up with some law so that stuff like that wouldn't occur again, and then they just fell off.
Mm-hmm.
So, Amp, yeah, we are for that. Now, are there any more questions before we conclude tonight from anyone else? Good night, Queen Sugar. Thanks so much for your presence.
I see you on the ninth, Queen Sugar.
Yeah.
She there. She in
Yeah.
inside.
We
She already
young,
there.
we strong, we marching all night long.
All
We
right.
young, we strong, we marching all night long. I ain't young, but I'm
Hey,
strong. I'm marching
literally.
all night
If
long.
we don't get it, we shutting it down.
That's it.
Yeah. I'm currently looking for some drummer boys or some of these bucket boys that be sitting out making them
Yeah,
drums go with the chant so good.
yeah, yeah. If I
Like
would have been
Mama
thinking
T
about
says, she wants it to be more like a celebration. I mean, it's so much pain and stuff like that, but celebrate this girl's life, how she woke the world up, how she exposed Rosemont, what's really going on in there, and how many more victims it could have been. She exposed a lot of things. We need to celebrate her life and keep her name alive. Posters with her name, pictures of Kanika, purple, all that. We got to rep her well. She didn't deserve to die like that. That baby
right,
deserves some justice. And her
right.
family needs some peace. And Rosemont can't get it until her family and Kanika got it.
That's right.
But Gina, I'm gonna ask this because I'm assuming that you knew Kanika. She was a real sweet girl, wasn't she?
I did
Her
not know
sm-
her personally, but now that I've grown to know her family
her
and
smile.
lots of times with her family, all
Yeah.
that, her whole family got that smile. They just
Yeah,
got the
that's what I'm
things. They
saying.
all.
All of
I
them
can't
got
look
that
at them
smile.
without seeing Kanika. Yes.
Yes, because they all got that smile. I mean, all of them smile.
You look at her
Lenora,
old
Kenny,
post
I,
all of them.
when she found out her mother beat cancer. Uh huh.
Oh, yes.
if I can jump in really quick, Teresa's, we're going to have to organize all over again because people start following the case because of frustration, right? We're going to have to organize and strategize because it's time for some serious pushback. And I await the day to talk to and get amongst other organizers just so I can better help and do what I do, which is recalling, uh, moving people, um, sitting down, strategizing on getting language approved to get people up out of offices. Like I said, in my state of Michigan, I did a lot of training to um, get Slick Rick Snyder recalled. The news media kept trying to run in my face all the time, and I had to get to a point where I had to stop them from trying to be in my face and interview me.
Mm.
Um, because it's about people in business at the end of the day. You don't always need to hear what I have to say. I didn't already say what I said.
Yeah.
Fascism and deflection. You doing people wrong, plain and simple. He needed to go, but he changed laws here, so he could not get recalled and required us to have more signatures. And quite naturally, you have to go through attorneys rebuttaling every signature that you collected and different things like that. So that's that's part of strategy. And I wait today where I can meet with some people in real time, face to face, and we can just sit down and start strategizing different things out and create an app to let people who are really about it know and put our little secret codes on there so only we know what we're talking about and we know where we're going to show up and we know what time and no one else know what we're talking about.
Yes. So this is
I wait
called a
for that day.
surprise attack.
That's
They
what
don't
that
need to
that
know. They don't need to know everything when we're gonna pop up or none of that. It should be surprise. It's catch. In other words, catch them off the element.
Okay, Amp is saying, I don't want to hold you ladies up. I rewatch. Thank you, Amp. I rewatching Ryan. Amp is also saying, Gina, please know that I did not support attacks against another channel. Uh, if in fact that was your account, I said nothing needless to say. I had to excuse myself from that neighborhood. It went way left. Detroit, Perry, all the way. You from Michigan, then, yes. So that's what he's saying to you, Gina, and I think you know what he's talking about in that
Yes, I
chat.
do.
Yeah,
Don't you worry about it. After a year, these trolls and the same story
Amp,
popping
she
back
said
up.
she's not worried about it. Amp, she said you're
Yes,
not worried about it. You good. We already know you good people. She ain't even
yes.
worried about it, but I did that video for them too. So they
Keep
good.
Kanika's name alive. Respect Kanika and keep fighting for justice.
Oh no, Teresa, no one was talking about you. We're talking about something totally different that happened, which is one of the reasons, just to bring some clarity, that I posted the video that I posted before this one has absolutely nothing to do with you, Miss Teresa Hatcher. This is pertaining to a channel holder and a content creator. Nothing to do with you at all right, Amp, have a good day at work. All right, if our hearts and minds are clear, if there are no more questions, we are going to conclude right here. You all have a pleasant evening, a pleasant night. We look forward to seeing those of us who will be in the state of
Yes,
Illinois
see you
next
on
week.
Kanika streets.
That's it. This
We are
weekend.
excited. We are
Hmm.
excited about those who will be protesting hotel chains of Rosemont. Also, because they can't be there, but they want to stand in solidarity. We are excited about you as well too. You all have, like I said, have a pleasant evening, a pleasant night, a prosperous week, a prosperous night. Bye bye.
Bye bye. Talk to you
Bye.
later. Bye, y'all.
4K till we get it.
Till we get it.
J4K. Every day,
J4K.
all day.